I'm not taking personal readings at this time. Please do not get scammed by people posing as me in the comments section. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to my channel, Roseology. So I don't want to make this intro too long, but given the last few days and the stress surrounding this election, I gotta check in on my people, and I just want to know how you all are doing. For those of you that maybe are struggling, maybe you're scared, discouraged, angry, or just plain exhausted, please, please, please take care of yourself. Not just societally, but cosmically, we are in very pivotal times. We see it with the nodes who will be activating a brand new axis next year. Also with Uranus in the final degrees of Taurus, Neptune preparing to move out of Pisces and into Aries. And the reason for today's reading, we have Pluto sitting at a critical point in the 29th degree of Capricorn. And this is all happening under tropical timing, by the way. So if you're feeling mentally spent, emotionally numb, and spiritually overwhelmed, I'm only saying all of this to say that it makes a lot of sense given the cosmos, the stars, and the way that the heavens are arranged right now. Now, if you're not feeling any of this or are witnessing everything without absorbing, then great, keep doing what you are doing. But hopefully we can, with this reading, create some sacred space to feel whatever you need to feel right now and spend some time with Spirit downloading messages about this new age of Aquarius. Now, I'm going to spend a little bit of time in this intro just talking about today's reading, what we're dealing with cosmically. So if you are just ready to head straight to the meditation or the pile selection or your actual reading, then head straight down to the timestamps to jump ahead to that. But today's reading, we are exploring the very many ways that this new age of Aquarius will end up shaping you, your life journey, your mindset, energy, and a lot more. So let me clarify, we are not looking into the astrological age of Aquarius. That is a 2100-year cycle that deals with something called the precession of the equinoxes. And that total cycle, or one great year, is roughly around 26,000 years. And we obviously do not live that long, and no one actually knows when the age of Aquarius starts or if we are already in it. But what we do know is Pluto, the planet of permanent change, transformation, power, rebirth, truth, and as I see it, she rules mortality, is moving into Aquarius on November 19th and will stay there for 20 years. Up until that point, Pluto has been in Capricorn for the last 15 years, retrograding back and forth between Capricorn and Aquarius for the last year. So when Pluto changes signs, it's a pretty big deal for the collective because Pluto is such a distant planet from the sun. And because of that, it takes the longest to revolve around the sun. It takes about 250 years. So this is the first and last time in our lifetime we will experience Pluto in Capricorn and now Pluto in Aquarius. And with these once in a lifetime transits, it comes fated experiences and major revelations. So we will be looking into how this new age of Aquarius, aka Pluto transit through Aquarius, will shape you in the course of your life. This is not a prediction, but an energy reading where I allow the spirit realm to relay whatever information they think is necessary. So whatever comes through, but please use your intuition to determine what pile feels like it is calling out or reaching out to you. So I'm going to do like a mini collective general, not even reading, I can't even call it reading, but we're just going to be talking a little bit about Pluto and Aquarius and what it means for Pluto to ingress the fixed air sign of Aquarius and how it could potentially play out over the next 2 decades. And by the way, I'm opening up YouTube membership services because Patreon is making some changes for iPhone users, and I want to keep access to that exclusive content like easy to get to. And I'll be keeping Patreon open for sure. And also, I will still post free content and free readings to the public YouTube channel here. I'm just, again, creating more access, easier access to some users for the exclusive content that I post over on Patreon. So it's optional. This is not something that you have to do. And that exclusive content is things like different tarot readings that I post throughout the month, different horoscope analysis where I show you guys step by step how to read a chart. There's also videos exclusively dedicated to each tarot card. I post content showing how I create and set up different altar spaces, perform rituals, and do energy work, and a lot more. And I'll also be making last month's exclusive videos on Patreon available for those of you that sign on to YouTube membership services this month for the exact same prices on Patreon, if you're interested in that, okay? But the oracle decks I'm using in today's reading, we have the Sacred Symbols for Divination and Meditation Oracle deck. We have the Egyptian Gods Oracle cards. We have the Soul's Journey lesson cards. And we have the Living Wheel astrology cards. Okay, now let's just jump into the disclaimers and the meditation so we can get to your card selection. So obviously this is a general reading, meaning that it will resonate with who it is meant to resonate with. Tarot does not control or dictate your life. If you hear something that you do not like or agree with and think that you are just fixed to that reality, then you are not using my readings correctly. I conduct these readings for confirmation and not answers. If you hear something for the first time, please do not take that message without receiving further confirmation from your own higher self and spiritual team. Realize at the end of the day, you have the final say with your destiny. Your free will is your power, and what you choose to do with it will determine your life outcome, not a pick a card reading on YouTube. So please be responsible and accountable for your own actions and use this as a guide to help decipher the messages that your spiritual team has been trying to send you all along. For those of you that would like to participate in this meditation, this is a general reading for the collective. So in order for this reading to resonate with you, you have to be personally synced into the energy of this reading. To help you do that and help you select a pile with your third eye, not your physical ones, I will be offering a 60-second meditation. Halfway into it, I will be placing crystals for my clairvoyants that like to pick piles with objects on them. And after the clairvoyant pile selection, there will be a clairaudient selection where I play a different tone for each pile, and you can select a pile based off of which tone resonates with you the most. If you are drawn to another pile, that's because there is another message for you in that pile. So if you are ready, get into a relaxed position. Become aware of your entire body, starting with your feet and working that awareness up in sections from the feet to the head. Then take a deep breath in through your nose for around 5 seconds. Hold that breath for 3 seconds. Then exhale for 6 to 7 seconds. Then ask your guides, spirit, ancestors, the universe, or all of them to connect you to your higher self so you can receive confirming messages about what the new Age of Aquarius has in store for you. So this is pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, and pile number 4. On pile 1 is hemomorphite. On pile 2, I believe is some form of clear quartz. On pile 3, I think might be pyrite. And on pile 4 is smoky quartz. right, for those of you here for the astrological portion of today's reading, hello. I hope you all are doing well. This is just a little look into what we do over on Patreon and now on the YouTube membership page, but this is just included in today's reading for everyone because I just felt very strongly moved to sort of do this for just the public, the general audience here on the public YouTube channel. We won't go super deep into this because this will be like a 2-hour reading if we were to go as deep as I want to go or as deep as we are going to go on Patreon or for the YouTube members. So just a little bit of a look into what we can expect this November, around mid-November, and when Pluto first moves into Aquarius. So this is going to be a little bit of a reading, but we're going to spend a little bit of time on this. So get comfortable, get some snacks, some drinks, whatever, get cozy so we can dive into this horoscope and then get to you guys' reading. Before getting into pile one, we're just going to be doing a very general review on Pluto ingress Aquarius happening on November 19th, 2024. And at what time specifically that happens will change depending on where you live in the world. This chart that I have drawn up here, because I'm going to be bringing up the chart and showing you guys exactly what I'm looking at, exactly how I'm reading this. But I always pull up the charts using the whole sign housing system, Western astrology, and tropical timing. Okay. And the reason that I use the whole sign housing system is because we all live in different places and areas in the world. And when I am reading a chart for the collective, I like to see the chart as generic as possible. And the only way to really do that is to use the whole sign housing systems. But for this astrological review, I'm actually casting the chart using the exact moment or time that Pluto ingresses Aquarius, which is 12:40 p.m. Pacific time. I will not be reading this chart in full. That will be an exclusive post again. So I will be reading a little into how the sun and moon are aspecting Pluto when it first steps into Aquarius, because those are two of the biggest influences in an astrological chart, especially when we are trying to read how the cosmos are personally affecting us or influencing us, because the sun will show how we perceive our reality or how we consciously create, and the moon will show us how we instinctively and intuitively are moving through this life and are moving through the current times. And I'll also touch on some major historic events that happened with the most recent Pluto and Aquarius transit. And while I find predictive astrology to be super complex, and I think that like you have to just be naturally gifted or really drawn to predicting future events using divinatory sciences, I think reviewing past events and history can serve as a really great teacher when it comes to not repeating past mistakes or when it comes to looking at how things could unfold in the future. And so it doesn't matter if you are brand new to astrology, somewhat acquainted with astrology, or like a longtime lover and student of astrology. I start with the basics, and that's by talking a little bit about the signs that we're looking into and the planets and how they express themselves. So Aquarius is a fixed air sign that I describe as the intellect of the zodiac signs. And this sign, it rules humanity, the collective, mass groups of people, and free will. Aquarius rules the 11th house, and this deals with society, social reform, trends, herd mentalities, associations, organizations, technology, the future, and aspirations. Uranus is one of the parents or rulers of Aquarius, and it is an oddball planet that, for instance, it rotates horizontally. And scientists think that it may have been hit by a planet-sized body in the past to make its tilt so extreme. And that's how we can view Uranus in astrology, where it represents individuality, independence, authenticity, uniqueness, originality, standing out from the crowd, going against the grain or going against the mainstream, and all things strange or misunderstood. because it is so unpredictable, Uranus also deals with volatility, surprises, upheaval, rebellion, innovation, science, technology, breakthroughs, discovery, and is the misfit in astrology. It'll also deal with things like aliens and alien life forms, just anything that doesn't fit inside what we consider the norm. Now, Saturn also co-rules Aquarius, and when this planet is expressed through Aquarian energy, it reads very differently versus when it is expressed through Capricorn, the other sign that it rules. So Saturn is the planet of restriction, limits, karma, time, structure, discipline, challenges, and fears. It can be seen as the father in some ways. And when it is expressed through Aquarian energy, it rewards us for that hard work, discipline, pain, and commitment. It also deals with self-mastery, maturity, and sacrifice, and can show us the ways that we have been mentally hardened or conditioned given the different hurdles that life has thrown at us or the different things that we have survived in life. So Saturn is how we're sort of like hardened in life, and not necessarily in terms of like how we have become bitter or pessimistic or narrow-minded, but just again, it's just about how life has shaped us, who life has shaped us into, whether for better or for worse. Now Pluto, at the moment that it ingresses Aquarius, because this is how I've casted the chart, and as you can see here, it is at 0 minutes and 0 seconds, and at the time that this happens, Pluto will be sextile the sun, who is in fixed water sign Scorpio. So a sextile is a major aspect in astrology that shows how planets work together. That's what all the aspects do. They just sort of show how the planets are interacting with each other. But a sextile will show how planets work together or combine. So I describe sextile as similar to how a football team is made up of offense and defense. Each of these sections, they have their own responsibilities. And I'm talking about like the American football. I don't know anything about football like soccer. And so each of these sections, they have their own responsibilities or their own roles on the team. So offense shows how they progress towards the goal because the main priority is to score when it comes to the offense. And defense, on the other hand, it works to keep the other team from gaining ground. So even though offense and defense, they have different roles that they are responsible for, they are both playing on the same team. So they both have the same goals in mind, which is to win the game. And that's exactly what sextiles do. Another way that I describe sextiles is sort of like if you were to take a guitar and pluck different strings on that guitar, they are going to be different notes, but when you play them together, they are going to harmonize together. Those notes are going to complement each other. And that's basically what sextiles do as well. It's going to depend on the energies involved because you don't want to generalize the aspects. Sometimes, even though a sextile is considered an easy aspect, it can manifest in ways that are a little bit challenging or a little rough because, again, it's going to depend on the planets that are involved in that sextile or the energies involved in that sextile. But more often than not, I would say nearly all the damn time, sextiles, these easy aspects, are going to show the ways in which the planets or these cosmic objects work together. Because the planets or these bodies involved in a sextile, they're going to use their different strengths or combine their different agendas together, all towards the same goal. So even if the planets involved in an easy aspect don't necessarily like working together, they will find different strengths. They will find different aspects of themselves, different qualities of themselves that are compatible or they combine together well enough to work together. Okay, so this is sort of like putting your differences to the side and saying, I've got this thing that you could use, you've got that thing that I need or could use, and so let's work together. Okay, so sun is the only star in our solar system, right? So it's really bright. It produces its own nuclear energy, and this makes it very attention grabbing. I mean, we can't help but to notice the sun when we look up in the sky. So in astrology, this will show what we focus on, how we gain attention, what we are projecting or radiating, how we concentrate our power, what we are providing for, how we lead and express ourselves. And so sun in Scorpio, it says that we likely have a lot of focus on some sort of transition happening around us or in our personal lives. And Scorpio is a fixed water sign. And as Scorpios, I've always described it, you can sort of look at it the way that we see the very bottom of the ocean. It's a really dark place. And it's a place that is very difficult for us to explore because it's almost impossible to get to. It's an extremely intense place. You have to have like evolved over millions of years to be able to survive the bottom of the ocean, because if not, if you're not meant to be down there, the pressure of all the weight of that water is just going to snap you into, or whatever would happen if we were to try and go that far down into the ocean. So Scorpio is exactly like that. It's going to rule the very bottom of our water energy, and water energy is our emotions. It rules our subconscious. So this is the very bottom of our conscious, aka the unconscious. So the Scorpio is going to deal with things like the shadow. It's going to deal with our conscious having descended to the very depths that it can go to. So again, this is the unconscious. This is the shadow space. This is a space that we are least aware of, or this is a space where we sort of throw things away. It's kind of like our garbage can, the garbage can for our conscious, where we throw away certain experiences, certain memories, certain qualities, certain characteristics about ourselves that we don't like, or it makes us very uncomfortable. It's something that maybe scares us or makes us feel insecure or even disempowered. So this is where we sort of shove things away in that sort of like that junk drawer, like that closet where we don't want to see these things. We don't want to deal with them. And this is why in some ways Scorpio also deals with manipulation, or it's very skilled with manipulation, because we can almost manipulate ourselves into thinking this isn't who I am, or this isn't happening, because we have that option with Scorpio to shove something that we don't want to see into Scorpio's realm, or into Scorpio's depths, where it's so dark over there. I don't need to see this. I can hide this away. I don't have to deal with this. I don't have to look at this. So that means it doesn't exist, or we can fool ourselves into saying it doesn't exist, because we have that option of not looking at it. We have that option of not dealing with it. And so that's what Scorpio is going to deal with. It's a very intense planet, or a very intense sign that's going to rule transformation, power, sexuality, birth, rebirth, cycles, alchemy. Scorpio is also a sign that is not afraid of taking risks. It is an investigator. It's very, very good at detecting the truth, seeing through bullshit, and calling things out, and exposing things for what they are. And Scorpio can do this in a very private way as well. It can do it in a very quiet way, where Scorpio is just really good at its intuition. Everything about Scorpio exists at the depths, or at the core, where it says like, I know what you really are. You may be trying to present yourself to me in one form, but I can see straight through that. I can see to your depths. I can see your true intentions or agendas, in other words. So Scorpio is really, really gifted at seeing through masks, and seeing through illusions, and seeing through things that, again, it tries to present itself in one form. This can make Scorpio very intimidating, very intense, very passionate sign. Because it's fixed, this makes Scorpio very extreme as well. All the fixed signs are very extreme. They're either one way or another way. They're very stubborn. They will definitely choose to die on that hill, and they won't care. So Scorpio is very good at standing alone, and in a lot of ways it prefers to stand alone, or to be a lone wolf, because it sort of feels like nobody else can get it or deal with it. Like how I was saying, the very bottom of the ocean is only meant for certain species that have evolved over millions of years to be able to deal with existing at that depth. That's Scorpio in a nutshell. So when we have Sun in Scorpio, we likely have a lot of focus in terms of seeing through something. And also we are really focused or concentrated on some sort of transitioning happening around us, or in our personal lives at the time that Pluto moves into Aquarius. Because the Sun and Pluto are sextile, this means that we are bringing a sense of awareness to the depth of something, or we are trying to peel back the layers of something. We're trying to more deeply understand something. We may be even looking straight into the soul of something that intimidates us or scares us, or something that makes us uncomfortable. And we are likely drawing a sense of almost like power from that place too. Pluto and the Sun in this sort of like sextile are combining their abilities. Remember, sextile is about how planets are working together, or how they harmonize, like different notes in a song. So Pluto and the Sun, they are playing nicely, or they are arranging themselves in this way for this ingress, which is interesting because they are polarizing forces. And why is that? Because Sun is the brightest thing in our sky. It's what every single planet revolves around, and Pluto is the furthest planet from the Sun. This is why I also equate Pluto and Scorpio to estrangement, where around this time we may be distancing ourselves too. When Pluto moves into Aquarius, we may be gradually getting to a place where we are ready to distance ourselves from someone in our life, or a certain environment, or a certain lifestyle, or even a mindset, or a certain emotion. This may be us even like sort of filling up our shadow even more, deciding to, hey, I kind of want to put something, I kind of want to put this experience that I've been going through, or this feeling that I've been dealing with, or whatever situation may be happening in our life, we may sort of want to like shove it away and not really look at it right now. So around the time that Pluto first moves into Aquarius, we may be opening up that closet full of skeletons and full of baggage. We may be filling that space up a little bit more around that time with this sextile between Sun and Pluto, because again, like I said, they're polarizing forces. Sun is the brightest thing, Pluto is the darkest thing, and this is why Pluto is going to deal with the shadow realm, death, the unconscious, transformation, cycles, secrets, power, control. So these forces working together can manifest as us personally using our fears, doubts, uncertainties, shadow aspects, things that we dislike, or unwelcome parts of our life. We can use them as motivation to change. So while there's going to be certain things that we shove into this closet that we don't want to see right now, there's going to be certain things that we also pull out of that closet. It's almost like we're going to be using that moment of opening this closet and saying, okay, there's some things that I want to put in there. There's some things that I want to take out of there and use at the time. So we're almost like repurposing whatever is in our baggage at the moment, whatever baggage we've been carrying around. We may be spending some time looking into that space and deciding what we want to pull out, deciding what we want to put in, deciding what we want to throw away permanently for good. So in other words, a lot of people may be unconsciously motivated to transmute something that we have been running from, or maybe trying to avoid, or have been carrying around. We're sick of lugging it around because it can feel like we have even more things, even more is getting added to our baggage. So we can feel a little bit heavier at this time as well, because we are in the season of Scorpio too. And when we're in such a deep season, or such a dark sign, a dark season, it's not dark as in bad, or as in negative, or as in scary, but dark as in this is when we rest. This is an important time for us to rest energetically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, if we can. And that's something that we're likely going to be trying to do, even though there's a lot of parts of us that we're maybe trying to put to bed, or we're maybe trying to bury for the time being, or even suppress. There could be other forces in our life that's trying to suppress us or bury us, for instance. Right now, or around this ingress, we may feel like we have power. Remember, Sun rules power. We may feel like we have power, or more strength, determination, even motivation to make some serious changes with that baggage that we've been carrying around, or with certain obstacles that have been very stubborn, and they've been in our life for a while. Another thing the sextile may be doing is exposing or revealing what has been draining you. Remember, Sun is bright. It's what we are most aware of. Pluto is dark. It's what we struggle to see. So this is like turning the light on in a dark room. This is why I say we're sort of opening up that closet, or looking into that baggage that we've been carrying around. And with Sun in Scorpio, the sign traditionally ruled by Pluto, this is manifesting as powerful revelations or awakenings happening around this ingress. So there may be information that you guys uncover or find out. Secrets could get exposed. We may wake up, in other words, to our own blind spots in areas that we have been unaware of, or we have been more than likely trying to avoid. We're unaware of them, not because this is information or secrets that have been kept from us. It could manifest in that way, but more than likely we're unaware of this place because we are choosing not to acknowledge it. We're choosing not to look at something. And this is what is more than likely going to be highlighted in our life around the time of this ingress. Anything that has been happening under wraps, anything that we have maybe even suspected or have been paranoid of, we could get a lot of clarity on. I personally was born with Pluto opposed my sun in my natal chart because I'm a Taurus sun. And Pluto was in Scorpio when I was born. I'm showing my age here, but anyways, yeah, they're opposing in my natal chart. So for me, every year, I wait for the sun to transit my natal Pluto. I use that as a time to break really, really stubborn habits in my life, habits that I'm responsible for, because sun, it shows our personal power, things that we are personally in control of. And so for me, this sextile that we're looking at here in this chart, in this specific horoscope, is a bit more favorable because this is sun and Pluto working together. So for those of you that read tarot, maybe you pull your own cards or get readings regularly, you may see a lot of tower energy pop up around the time of this ingress, especially if you are Scorpio, Pluto, Mars, 8th house or Aries dominated. You may be getting the Tower card a lot right now. There could be certain things that we are evoking in our life right now, certain things that we are, like I said, we're bearing some things and uncovering or digging up other things. And that is that transmutative power or process that we deal with when we are dealing with Scorpio energy or Scorpio season. There's this process of dealing with the cycles of life and death, rebirth. Okay, so this is cycles recycling. And Scorpio is pretty good at multitasking. It can bury some things while digging up other things. So basically, and this might sound weird, but it's almost like Tower card is showing up in under full card energy sort of way. Like this tower is happening to trigger a new awakening that you haven't had before. It's the cosmos trying to inspire us in a way that we haven't been stirred before. And so we could be invoking the dark masculine. We talk a lot about the dark feminine and spirituality, right? And the dark masculine, at least the way that I see the dark masculine, I don't even know if that's a thing, but the way that I see the dark masculine is in drastically changing the way that we pursue certain things, because masculine energy is active, right? Feminine energy is passive, masculine energy is active. So the way that I guess if dark masculine was a thing, the way that I would kind of interpret that is maybe being a bit more vulnerable or appearing more vulnerable and incorporating more of the feminine quality into how it operates. So I would say with that kind of coming through, to definitely trust your discernment, trust your intuition, trust your gut instincts. Your instincts may be really firing off right now around this time as we're in Scorpio season, because the moon hates being in Scorpio season. We'll talk about that in a couple more minutes. It's in fall in Scorpio. So during this time, this may be why Scorpio is so intense, or why it almost feels like there is a threat everywhere around us when we are in that Scorpio energy, especially if you are uncomfortable with Scorpio energy. So Scorpio season, Scorpio energy is just an invite pretty much to get comfortable with what makes you uncomfortable, to get comfortable with the parts of yourself that you try to, again, suppress or bury, that you don't want to look at, that you don't want to see, and finding ways to use those resources by saying, this part of my life makes me uncomfortable, but maybe there's something I could learn from it. This part of myself makes me uneasy, but maybe there's power here. Maybe there's something that I can use here. But like I said, on the flip side, I would definitely say to use your discernment, because there can be a lot of different people or situations that sort of use this energy to manipulate. So definitely make sure that you are being more watchful and vigilant than normal, not in the sense of paranoia. You don't want to be paranoid. You don't want to spike any sort of worry or anxiety in yourself, where we are fully operating in the shadow side of Scorpio. And again, you want to be empowered when we're dealing with Scorpio energy, because it's really easy for Scorpio to overwhelm us because it's such a heavy, intense energy or sign, as we talked about. So this is a sort of sign that you want to flow with. You don't necessarily want to resist it. You sort of want to use it, like I said, as an invitation or an opportunity to follow that trail and see where it leads you, even though it is leading you further and further and further away from your comfort zone. So now moving on to this opposition here between Pluto and the moon in Cancer. So moon traditionally rules Cancer. Moon is a very deep planet in astrology. It rules our soul or core. This is the essence of who we are. Okay, so the spiritual part of you, or the energetic part of you, the soul is the feminine and the spirit is the masculine. Soul is the moon, the spirit is the sun. And so soul is all of who we are. Spirit is the ego. So spirit is these little aspects that we project from the soul space. So in other words, your soul, it incarnates into this human incarnation, and your soul, it encompasses every single person that you are going to become throughout your incarnation. And the spirit is going to be those different personalities or egos or layers that you wear and take on throughout this incarnation, throughout this human journey. Again, moon is the essence of who we are. You cannot get any more honest than this place. But because of this, the moon is a very protective planet, and which is why she's considered the mother of astrology. Another reason that she is given this label is because, unlike the sun, who is hosting a gang of planets and comets and other cosmic objects in our solar system that orbit it, the moon orbits us, planet Earth. So her sole priority is Earth. Her reason for being, we could look at it as, is to stabilize Earth, to stabilize our axis. This is the reason why we have seasons, and this is the reason why we have life as we know it here on planet Earth, is because of the way that the moon helps to stabilize this planet. And so this is the Earth being the moon's sole priority, is to say that Earth is like her child and the only thing that she revolves around. So with Moon, the mother, it shows where we come from, what we inherit in this life, our roots, our memory, intuition, instincts, how we are predisposed. It shows how we are balanced, or how we are made to feel secure and be secure. It also will deal with the women and feminine energy and our sixth sense. You can even view your karma here when it comes to moon in astrology, because she also rules the nodes, the north and the south node in astrology. And this is just where the moon dips beneath the ecliptic, that would be the south node, and where she rises above the ecliptic, that would be the north node. And so the nodes in astrology, it'll interpret as south node, the karma that we came into this life with, and north node, the karma that we are taking on. So yeah, you can also see karma. You can see past life energy as well, if that's a niche of astrology that you want to get into. But moon will also deal with our sixth sense, and moon in Cancer is at home here. This is where moon recharges her battery, so to speak. So right now, energetically, spiritually, soul-wise, we may be very drawn to things that feels natural for us, or things that feel really organic for us. Anything that feels like home, we may be craving. We may be craving a lot of comfort stuff. Cancer is a cardinal water sign that shows how we emotionally process this incarnation and how we create a sense of home or belonging. And this is why Cancer rules our domestic life, or our private life, things that happen behind closed doors. Also, this sign rules the bottom of the chart, or it deals with the IC. And this is where the rest of the chart rests. So it shows our foundation in life pretty much. And Cancer ultimately rules the places that we go for nourishment, nutrition, rest, protection, and a sense of security. It also shows how we plant certain seeds that we intend to grow over time. And so moon in this sign, the moment that Pluto ingresses Aquarius, it could manifest with us feeling a need to go home or do things that feel familiar. This could be us wanting to spend more time alone or indoors, or in other words, where we feel most safe, because that's what home represents, or it's what it's supposed to represent. Cancer is also a very moody sign in the sense that it is ruled by the moon. So naturally, Cancer's emotions and energy, it waxes and it wanes. So it's very, very normal around the time that Pluto ingresses Aquarius to feel almost a bit tired, a bit drained, like we talked about with that sextile between Sun and Pluto. So this can cause us to feel a little bit drained. And the moments that we feel drained, we may notice that our social battery depletes a lot more easily around the middle of November, and carrying us into December and the end of this year. We may notice that it's like, okay, I only have enough of a battery or enough energy to be in this environment, but for so long. We may find like limits, more limitations when it comes to like what we are able to do energetically. We may be very, very protective of our energy right now. We may want to conserve it a lot right now. We may want to sort of almost like save it and bottle it up for other things. We may be trying to figure out, how can I divide up my energy and my time right now? I know I have to go to work for 8 hours today. Do I have enough energy to also do dinner with friends afterwards? I've been dealing with this in my personal life. Like, let's just say, for example, I've been dealing with something in my relationships, or I've been dealing with something in my family. I don't have the energy to show up in these other spaces socially because I have to spend so much energy and so much of my emotional awareness dealing with whatever's going on in my family or behind closed doors. So we may definitely be trying to recharge right now, and we could find it a little bit difficult because of this opposition. So with Pluto and Aquarius opposed Moon in Cancer, this aspect right here, it shows a strong resistance towards the changes that need to be made, because there is a difference between changes that we want to make and changes that we have to make. Again, like we discussed, Moon is about comfort. It's the mother. And archetypically, the mother is where we are supposed to feel most safe. We're not supposed to feel criticized or judged or rejected in this space. We regress into the Moon or Cancer energy to reconnect with our essence or our soul. So Moon in Cancer for this ingress is talking about a reaction. Likely around the 19th of November, the middle of this month, we may be reacting to that transition that we talked about earlier that is taking place in our life or around us. And so Pluto moving into Aquarius opposing this reaction means that we can feel or sense intuitively or energetically the winds of change. Aquarius is a radical sign. In a lot of ways, it's just like the Fool card. Well, Fool is ruled by Uranus, which is one of Aquarius's ruling planets. But Aquarius and Fool are similar in the sense that for them, there is no such thing as a home that exists outside of them. Their comfort and what they know is change. That's what they're most familiar with. So it's sort of like the saying, the more things change, the more they stay the same, is everywhere right now. So around the 19th, with this oppositions are aspects that symbolize a standoff between two or more planets. They are separated at 180 degrees apart, as to say, I have my stance, you have yours. You stay on your side, I stay on my side. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Fuck around, find out. That's basically an opposition. Oppositions can easily manifest as some sort of collision, hostility, a showdown, some sort of a duel, or even a meeting. It says the only thing that we have in common is this focal point, but our ways of perceiving it or getting there couldn't be any different. And this is why they oppose, to show how polarizing they are. So this is almost like, let's just say, like, for example, two people, a couple, they end up having a child, but at some point they break up. So now that they've broken up, they see things completely differently, or the way that they see fit raising their child, they're just on polar opposite sides. And the only thing that they have in common that is the focal point, which would be their child. And so with an opposition, it's like, unfortunately, we have this one thing in common. I wouldn't even see you. I wouldn't even interact with you. I wouldn't even deal with you if it wasn't for this one thing that we had in common. Now, Moon and Pluto, they share some similarities because they are both feminine, but they manifest through different feminine mediums. So in astrology, I describe the feminine planets, which would be like Moon, Venus, Neptune, and Pluto, kind of like the way that we see Maiden, Mother, and Crone. So I see Maiden as like Venus, this very, seductive, sensual kind of planet. I see Moon, the mother, as the mother. And then I see Pluto as the crone. Whereas Neptune is such a disorienting, powerful shapeshifter that she can sort of embody these different feminine expressions whenever she wants to. But anyways, with Moon being the mother, she gives birth. Or in other words, she is the channel that marks the origin point or the beginning of life. Pluto is the crone that represents the end of life, or she represents that life form transforming into a different entity or a different form. So they naturally oppose if you look at them in that sense. Also, Moon is in fall in the sign that Pluto rules, which is Scorpio. Moon feels very uncomfortable in Scorpio. If you were to take a mother and put her and her child in an uncomfortable environment, what is that mom going to do? That mother is going to become overly protective, even defensive, which is not the Moon's natural way of being. So in other words, Moon in Cancer can show up as us not wanting to be bothered with whatever may be happening in our day-to-day life. We may want to hide in bed or at home and surround ourselves with all of our favorite people and comforts and what have you. We're trying to create this safe space or environment while this opposition with Pluto and Aquarius is being brutally honest and saying, come on, you know this isn't real. You're trying to force the sense of comfort and security because you are uncomfortable and you are on the edge, you're on the precipice of the unknown. And this is where Aquarius thrives, but Cancer, not so much. Cancer really does not like change because of this. And that's what home is. It's a place that we know very well. It's where we come from. It's what is most familiar to us. So another reason that this opposition is such an irritant in our life for us is because Cancer and Aquarius don't naturally oppose each other. Aquarius' opposing sign is Leo and Cancer's opposing sign is Capricorn. But given that Pluto is sitting at the 0 degrees, the very start of Aquarius, and depending on how much of an orb that you use with your aspects in astrology, they are opposing in this chart, Pluto and the moon. So intuitively, what this could mean is that we are staring down the barrel of permanent change. Intuitively, we can feel that there is a permanent change on the horizon. And there's some sort of life or comfort that we will never be able to return back to. Things are about to change in a way where it's going to feel like a different life or a different reality in a sense. This is like jumping paradigms or jumping timelines. And because we don't know how things are going to turn out or manifest, we don't know what's going to be affected or how much our home or place of comfort and familiarity will change. This one aspect right here, this opposition can lead to a sense of anxiety to the point that it's like, I don't want to deal with this. This is giving me so much concern or so much worry. I'd rather not look at it. I'd rather not deal with it. Mostly because we want to resist. That's what oppositions are. I'm opposing you or I'm keeping myself from seeing or doing things in your way. I have my own way of doing things. So this opposition can feel forceful around the 19th and the months following as well. It can feel like a presence in our life is forcing us to accept the way that things are going or the way that things are headed. And this is us saying like, I want to do things on my own timeline or when I feel ready, or I don't agree with these changes. I don't feel like dealing with this. I would rather keep things as they are. I'm comfortable right here. This is where I want things to stay. So around middle November, we can feel a little bit tense. Now Moon moves very, very quickly. She only spends around 2.5 days in a sign versus Pluto, who's going to spend 20 years in Aquarius. So with Moon here, this opposition is going to disappear just as quickly as it shows up. But again, this horoscope here is showing the ingress of Pluto in Aquarius, and this will be a 20-year transit. So in other words, this is the natal chart for Pluto in Aquarius. So this is a chart that we can keep referring back to over the next 2 decades. The same way that you can keep referring back to your natal chart at the moment that you were born. This is sort of like the birth of a new generation with Pluto moving into Aquarius. And so if we want to keep referring back to this point, the moment that it ingresses Aquarius, we definitely can. But yeah, this tension here between Pluto and the moon, we will feel on some level throughout the next 20 years that Pluto transits Aquarius. It'll pop up or manifest in different ways. And sometimes it'll be more dormant. Other times it'll be a really dominant force or influence in our life. But there could for sure around the middle of November 2024 be some sort of authority in our life that we feel is overstepping a boundary. We could feel like it is spilling into our safe space, our territory, our home base, and like it has no right there. Now, this can manifest in a million different ways. Like this can be as benign as your partner doing something that really annoys you and they are completely unaware as to how they are affecting you at that time, because Cancer can be a very moody sign where it's like, if it was any other day but today, I'd be able to just like overlook it, or I'd be able to just let this roll off my back. But today, that is really irritating me. That is really rubbing me the wrong way, and I want to react, or I want to say something, or I want to get away from them, or I'm just cringing at them right now, or it can be something as big as like your partner doing something that you feel disrespects your boundaries. This can also come to fruition as us breaking a promise to ourselves, or a boss, for instance, disregarding our concerns at work. This can play out globally where someone in power infiltrates our personal space, and it'll depend on which axis this opposition is happening in your own natal chart. And that's going to determine how this opposition shows up for you mid-November and the remainder of Pluto in Aquarius. But to summarize this in a really general way, Pluto is testing us by suffocating our safe space, which would be Moon in this opposition, because it is keeping us from getting too comfortable and content somewhere. This is like having an elephant in the room at all times. This opposition is a presence we will not be able to ignore, and it's saying that this presence will be felt even in our homes, or in other words, our place that's supposed to feel most safe and most distant from the world and its chaotic ways and instability. Our safe space or home is where we retire to when things get to be too much and when we need a break. So there's a direct challenge here. Now, as for why or what this can lead to, we will have to track this transit, but we would also have to look at the other aspects being made to the moon. For instance, there's a quincunx between Moon and Mercury. There's a semi-sextile to Jupiter, a trine to Saturn and Neptune, a sextile to Uranus, a square to Chiron and Lilith as well. So in the exclusive horoscope reading on Patreon, or for the YouTube members, we will be going through each and every aspect. I kid you not. So we're going to be looking through each aspect to get an entire picture or idea as to what this ingress on November 19th has in store for us on a personal level and a collective level, because there's so much more to look into here. I just felt it necessary to talk a little bit about the times that we're shifting into and how this could show up personally. Now, this is not definitive, okay? Astrology does not read in that way. At least I don't see astrology as this fixed science. I use it to read the energetic conditions, sort of like a weather forecast. And so it's up to us how we interact with or prepare for this cosmic weather. But that's how I personally read a chart. Everybody has their own way of reading, or I should say comprehending the cosmos, because we are all a part of this universe. We are made up of this universe. We come from this universe. So the universe and you guys speak your own language pretty much. And so it will differ from person to person and soul to soul and perspective to perspective, exactly how we see a chart. If we looked at this transit here without considering any aspects, but just solely looking at Pluto in Aquarius from a collective standpoint, getting a little into mundane astrology, if we put all this information together that we talked about with Aquarius and Pluto, what they represent, what they stand for, what they rule, this 20-year transit means what for humanity? It's really hard to predict exactly how this will play out for each individual or even the collective, as we talked about, but in the general sense, the frequency of humanity or the collective conscious will trend differently, period. And if we look back on some historical events that took place with the most recent Pluto and Aquarius transits, we will see how global powers shifted. We'll see the inception of different powers and ideologies that swept over society during this time. And for instance, 1789, just about a decade after Pluto moved into Aquarius, was the start of the French Revolution, where food was scarce, the population had ballooned, there was a recession, there was bad harvests, high unemployment rates. France was in a financial crisis after funding a war, and this led to higher taxes, and all of these issues led to a spike with the mortality rate and a deep, deep resentment towards those in power from the upper and the lower classes. And so it was a perfect storm that developed into this 10-year revolution where there was thousands of deaths from the Reign of Terror and a successful coup. Now, the American Revolution also took place during this recent Pluto and Aquarius transit. It was a political movement where the 13 colonies led I don't even know if I can say this on YouTube, but basically the 13 colonies will say they went up against British rule and ultimately gained their independence from Britain. And another 2.5 centuries before that, King Henry VIII became the head of the Church of England, completely removing the Pope's authority in 1534. And this happened during a period called the Reformation, where there was an extreme divide between the Catholics and the Protestants. And we can keep going back throughout history. I don't want to make this too long of a review here because it's already been long enough. We're getting up on an hour here. But understanding Aquarius on a collective level. Aquarius is a sign that opposes Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun, who is the ultimate authority in our solar system, being that it's the only star. So Aquarius is designed to challenge the status quo and what we as a people idolize or hold in great esteem. Aquarius encourages independent thought, individual representation, and overall evolution. It mainly targets traditional systems and structures that can only be supported on the backs of the people. Pluto is the planet that sits at the edge of our solar system, marking this point between the known and the unknown. And this is why Pluto is going to govern the place between extremes. She's going to rule things like life and death. So at the same time, she is beyond these extremes or limits. And this is why I see Pluto as the crone. And as we talked about earlier, and so this planet is going to rule power. So she's going to give power in some ways and take it in others. Pluto pulls things out by the root as well. So the ways in which society functions will look drastically different from today. At the microcosmic level, people will be determined to reclaim their independence from the government or church and state or the old powers or an old regime. Pluto in Aquarius, it may see a huge rise in things like paganism, occultism, witchcraft, atheism, anything that puts the power back into the hands of the individual. It's going to be the individual's choice as to how they access that power or tap into it. The ways in which technology develops with this transit will definitely impact future generations as well. We could see a boom in the biohacking industry for sure, but it's safe to expect like major transfers of power. Any outdated social structures will definitely be challenged. People will want to be more self-reliant. And months ago on Patreon, when we first talked about Pluto moving into Aquarius, because it first moved into Aquarius earlier this year, and we talked about months ago how people will become more involved and reliant over time on their local communities for produce, possibly. We could see more extreme weather as well with bigger consequences. Basically, whatever ways that we have been sort of resisting change and resisting the changes that we know we need to make because we are physically able to observe the consequences of our actions. Aquarius is all about accountability because it's ruled by Saturn. Saturn represents physical consequences. It represents us having to deal with our footprint or impact that we make in the world and in this human incarnation. So any ways that we have been trying to avoid making the changes that we need to make, or the changes that is going to benefit all of us and end up leading to the greater good, that's where we're going to be dealing with and facing a lot of retribution. There will be a lot of scenarios that we end up experiencing as a whole or as a community or as a humanity, where we're almost going to be forced to deal with each other or work together, because Aquarius can definitely highlight where we have division and where we don't see ourselves as part of the crowd, or we don't see ourselves as part of a collective or part of humanity. This can definitely tap into places where we don't relate to the collective that we're a part of, where our ego has blinded us to how we are like other people. But with Pluto and Aquarius, we will have to be cautious because it's easy to liberate one community while oppressing another. And so the trick here will be in executing plans that truly benefit the majority. Pluto again can manifest as an oppressive force. So there could be some sort of issue with taxes or an increase in taxes, an increase in the essentials, which could lead to people becoming more self-reliant in some ways, where it's like, hey, if you're going to overly charge me for this, then I'm going to learn how to produce this on my own. Because another thing that we have to look at as well is where is Aquarius's ruling planets at the time of this ingress. And we have Uranus in the sign of Taurus, another fixed earth sign Taurus. And then we also have Saturn, who is in Pisces, mutable water sign Pisces. And Pluto will be trining one of Aquarius's ruling planets, which is Uranus. It'll be trining Uranus in Taurus, who's actually retrograde right now in Taurus. Okay, and I'm just going to pull one card. This is not on camera, so you guys will just have to take my word for it, but we'll just pull one card with Pluto ingress Aquarius. And we have the card that came out. We've got the King of Pentacles in reverse and the Ace of Wands in reverse underneath the deck. So this is definitely talking about an upheaval. King of Pentacles is very solid, very secure, the most solid and secure king in the minor arcana of tarot. And so this is definitely talking about feeling like we are being uprooted in a lot of ways, feeling like we are feeling like we might not have as good of a grip on the things that we own or the things that are in our possession. This could be even dealing with financial instability or volatility. An Ace of Wands in reverse is talking about not seeing maybe like a light at the end of the tunnel, or feeling as though things are looking a little bit bleak. So some of us could be feeling a little bit down. I just wanted to pull a clarifier, and the 8 of Swords just jumped out like crazy. And then we have Fool in reverse underneath the deck again. So yeah, this is definitely feeling like we are maybe in some ways regressing, going backwards, not progressing. We could be feeling like our hands are tied with the 8 of Swords right here. But the 8 of Swords too, showing up upright, is also kind of telling me that we are hyper focused on maybe what's going wrong, or whatever is making us feel disempowered, or whatever is making us feel suffocated, whatever is making us feel like we don't have a choice, or we don't have opportunities, or like we don't have freedom. We're a little bit too focused on that. And with the Fool in reverse right here, this is sort of saying that we need to maybe take a few steps back, deal with whatever situations is making us feel inferior or suppressed or defeated or impaired. Whatever we feel like is getting worse in our lives, or is being crushed under something, or if we're feeling like there is just damage somewhere in our life, it's like we need to go back to that place and fix it as best as we can, to feel like we are getting more of a grip on our own life and on our own reality, and to almost like create our own sense of security and comfort with this King of Pentacles in reverse, and with the Fool in reverse also coming out as well. But yeah, we're not going to go too deeply into that, because I also have just like a general reading that I'm going to be doing for Patreon or the members on YouTube. And I don't want to spend more time on this part of the reading, taking you guys away from whatever pile it is that you guys selected, because this is pretty much kind of what we were talking about with this horoscope reading here. But anyways, you guys, hopefully this part of the reading today brought you guys maybe a little bit more clarity or a little bit more insight. Like I said, this doesn't mean that you guys will be feeling this way around the middle of November. But if you are dealing with any of these feelings, especially any feelings of like disempowerment, that's a very common theme during Scorpio season. But if you're feeling anything like that, or feeling down, feeling maybe like a little depressed, or just like things are looking bleak, or like you're just not happy with where you are right now, it definitely has a lot to do with the current cosmos and the way that these transits are happening. That's why I like to go over these horoscope transits, just to sort of bring, again, some more insight and clarity as to what we could be going through, or why we're feeling what we're feeling. Like I said earlier in the intro, if you guys are feeling great right now, if you're feeling centered, if you're feeling grounded, no matter what's going on, if you are observing and not absorbing, please keep doing what you're doing. Stay grounded, stay centered, keep giving yourself everything it is that you need. For those of you that are just feeling ungrounded, this is a time to really narrow down exactly what's making you feel out of control, and to keep exploring, to keep on that trail until you are able to find a way that you can sort of shift maybe your perspective, or what you're doing in life, or the choices that you're making, to where you feel a little bit more in control. Because we might not be able to control what's going on around us, but one thing that we can sort of dictate, we have great influence over, is how we perceive things, how we respond to things, how we react to things, and how we take care of ourselves through that. Okay, so I'm going to close this out so we can finally get to you guys' piles. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening if you have thus far, and I will catch you guys at your pile. All right, pile 1, welcome to your reading. So we're starting off with your tarot cards here. Then I'm going to be pulling some oracle cards later on to check out what this new Age of Aquarius has in store for you. So getting started with you guys' tarot cards, we have here the Devil, then we have the Tower, And then we have the King of Swords. Okay, pile one. You guys are definitely the Phoenix rising. That is your new age theme for sure. And hopefully you guys listen to the intro of this video, because the age of Aquarius that we're looking into is not necessarily like the age of Aquarius. That is a 2000 plus year process or transit. What we are specifically looking into is Pluto's 20-year transit through Aquarius, since Pluto is preparing to ingress the sign of Aquarius around November 18th or the 19th, depending on where you live in the world. But anyways, pile one. You guys, like, the new theme for this new age of Aquarius that we are about to move into as a collective, your theme would be the Phoenix rising. And there is a lot of power in the spread already. And that might sound really weird, seeing the Tower and the Devil here. Okay, so if you are new to tarot, or if you are used to seeing or hearing about the cards in this very like either or sort of way, it's either good or they're either bad cards, please do not worry about the Devil and the Tower, because the cards go so much deeper than their general definitions, and tarot is all about divination, which is the art of divining and interpreting information and messages from source or higher intelligence. So while, yeah, the cards, they do have certain meanings that they are associated with, they are still meant to be interpreted using your own intuition. So you have to really get to like know the cards beyond the way that they've been generalized and stereotyped. Same exact way that we as people, for instance, like get stereotyped by the things that we are associated with, like race or gender, nationality, or whatever labels are put on us. But we are so much more than that as individuals if you got to know us and hear our story, right? So this is the same exact process with tarot and astrology. We are meant to listen to the cards and the cosmos and the signs in order to sense them. And what I hear or feel and sense in your spread is a lot of determination and willpower. So let me say, you guys, this era that you are becoming the King of Swords for sure. King of Swords is extremely in control, very calculated, very aware of what they're doing, very self-aware too. But this will be a chapter for you guys of breakage and severance, cutting soul ties, shattering generational patterns, breaking bad habits, overcoming your demons, ego deaths and rebirths. You guys are definitely tapped into your own spirit or power in a way where you won't be afraid to tear or burn down your own life, for example, and like start all over again if you feel it's necessary, because you guys have this unrelenting specific vision for yourself. And until you are aligned with that reality, you just won't stop. You have no stop. So it's like you will course correct over and over until you reach it. You will not be settling for whatever is available with the Devil and the Tower over here. Tower is you guys shredding any semblance of devil energy in your life. Devil card is not just about addiction and obsession. So if we listen to the card and go deeper, we'll see that it's about relation as well. Devil is a frequency, like everything else in this human existence. This tangible material realm is full of energies that have manifested themselves into something physical. So in the Devil card, these two individuals, they surrender their own autonomy and control because that's the frequency or channel that they're on. And so, yeah, they've given up their freedom. They are in chains, but they use their free will to make that choice. They use their freedom to chain themselves up. So it's as simple as them choosing again to detach from the devil, to take off those chains and reclaim their power with the Tower card right here. And look at what comes next with the Tower card. It's the card of destruction through divine intervention. But this tower was built by who? It's built by people. So in other words, this is you guys recognizing your own towers that you have built. Maybe this is you recognizing your own shortcomings, your own pitfalls, places where you have given up your own freedom and control and power, and are deciding to choose differently to free yourself of these traps through tower moments. So this isn't life happening to you guys, not that I'm picking up in your spread. We'll pull some oracle cards as well, but this is you guys either orchestrating tower moments or resourcing tower energy and using it to your benefit to escape any sort of situation or environment that has you feeling disempowered, like in the Devil card over here. So you guys may be totally tapping into your dark feminine energy, your dark feminine power, Pluto energy, because Pluto she's the dark mother, she's the dark goddess, she's crone energy, is how I've always described her. She's very crone energy because she sits in between the realms or even outside and beyond the realms of life and death. So when it comes to Pluto, Plutonian energy, She is the first thing that we meet coming into this incarnation, and she's also the same guide that leads us out of this life once this incarnation is done. And so the way that you guys are tapping into that Plutonian energy is by embracing her presence, embracing her powers, and creating these life or death circumstances, which in other words is like you guys may be creating your own opportunities, as well as you may be the very ones closing doors on certain situations and on certain chapters. Again, you guys are embracing that Plutonian energy. You guys may be Pluto dominated or Pluto ruled, which would be Scorpio. You guys may be 8th house ruled. You may be a Scorpio sun, moon, rising. Pluto may be in your first house. It could be sitting on your ascendant. It could be conjunct your sun or your moon. You may have Pluto preparing to move through your first house with this Aquarius transit here, because again, this is you guys really wielding your own power here. You guys have honestly learned how to harness Pluto energy, because does it look like the King of Swords looks out of control here? Not at all. Not to me, especially. Matter of fact, there's an interesting detail that I'm noticing here between the Tower and the King of Swords. So let me hold it up. And so you guys see these cracks in the tower here. Hopefully you guys can see it. My light's not getting in the way. And look at the floor that the King of Swords is sitting on. There's cracks in this floor here, because the King of Swords is sitting on this floor that's cracked. So he's ruling over it. So again, this is like you guys ruling over tower moments. This is you guys initiating a chain of events that lead to your freedom and independence from anything or anyone that is trying to take from you, or anything or anyone that has manifested in your life in this devil energy sort of way. The devil is all about control. It's all about taking hostage of one's power. So for you guys, if there's any sort of situation in your life, like for example, the devil card can manifest in many different ways. It can manifest as a certain job that we feel chained to, that we feel like we can't leave because of financial matters or other personal circumstances. It's like there could be 1,000,001 reasons why we feel like we can't leave that job. And it can create this sort of dynamic or feeling where, again, we feel controlled or we feel enslaved to that job. Same exact thing that you see on the devil card here. It's like for you guys sort of creating or causing these controlled demolitions in your life. So in other words, you guys are harnessing that Pluto and Aquarius energy. And I'm wondering if you guys as well, you could be Aquarius dominated, because this feels planned. It feels like you guys have disagreed or disliked certain situations for a really long time, and maybe have been waiting for the right moment to get out. And this is why I say you guys are a phoenix, or that's the theme for this new age of yours. And also too, there's like a very unforgiving nature in your spread here. And I don't mean you guys holding grudges, but you guys are not wasting time anymore waiting for things to change. You guys become your own tool for change with the King of Swords right here. But I want to sort of pull, let me just grab a clarifier really quickly for your devil energy and then your tower energy. So we have King of Wands, and then we have the Five of Swords in reverse. And then underneath the deck, look what we have again. We have the Tower again. Like I was saying to you guys, we have the King of Wands with the devil card. There could totally be some sort of a situation in your life, or even a person in your life that is trying to rule over you, or is trying to almost take control in a sense, or have a sense of control or power over you with this King of Wands. But because the King of Wands came out to clarify the devil card here. So again, this is a king. This is somebody that's in control or in power. Another thing that this King of Wands could be representing is you guys being in control, taking power back into your own hands over this devil card situation, like what we were talking about. Five of Swords in reverse came out to clarify your Tower. Again, this is not a fight for you guys. The Tower energy is not something that you guys are fighting. In fact, you guys are laying down your arms, you're laying down your swords, as we can see with this Five of Swords here coming out in reverse. You guys are laying down your swords. You're not trying to avoid, in other words, these tower moments from happening. In fact, you guys may be viewing these tower moments as opportunities. Why else wouldn't you try to avoid it, or try to resist it, or try to fight it? Because it may be something that you guys want to happen. And confirmation with the Tower card coming out underneath the deck to clarify your underneath the deck energy, which is the King of Swords here. Again, you guys are in control of these tower moments, okay? But my pile ones are definitely becoming your own tool for change with the King of Swords over here. Some of you may even look back on your own past, and it's also 444 on my clock right now. So that may be a significant number that you guys are seeing or keep saying, especially as we move into this new Age of Aquarius. But yeah, some of you guys, you may look back on your own past and say like, I spent too much time at this job or in this relationship or in this identity, or not loving myself, or I spent too much time wishing things would change, or thinking that I didn't have a choice, or not believing in my own power, not believing in myself. There is a total flip in your attitude where you guys go from passive to very active or even aggressive, especially with this King of Wands coming out to clarify your Devil card right here. This could even be you guys sort of in a way taking a stance against any sort of devil energy in your life. And devil energy is, again, it is whatever is trying to control you. It's trying to take your power. It's trying to convince you to surrender, or it's trying to convince you that you don't have any power. You don't have any choice. And so it's not that you guys get aggressive as in violence, but as in assertive. King of Swords over here, King of Wands. You become audacious. You make audacious, bold moves with this Tower card now coming out twice for you. What this honestly feels like is you guys being done with the parts of your life that leave you feeling dissatisfied, unhappy, out of control, but especially inferior. You will also be much more vocal with this King of Swords over here too. For those of you that have suffered from people pleasing, maybe prioritizing others over yourself, you not only stop doing that, but you stop trying to avoid confrontation or problems. That could be what this King of Wands is coming out and saying too with this Devil card here. It's basically like you guys confronting or standing up to this devil energy or devil situation. Something or someone, they really activate your inner fire with this King of Wands right here. Or this is years of buildup where things come to a head like a volcano with this Tower card here crumbling down. And you guys are not worried about what gets ruined, because for many of you, you adopt this mindset with the King of Swords here that if things are meant to be, they will. If this tower was meant to last, it would have withstood this lightning bolt, because there's a lightning bolt that essentially destroys the tower here. And the tower came crashing down because it wasn't built well enough to withstand that lightning bolt. Expect a lot of divine intervention. So in other words, like miracles with this new age of Aquarius that you guys are moving into, because the lightning bolt in the Tower card is called a yod or a yod, however it is you want to pronounce it. And that is known as the finger of God in astrology. So there will be a lot of fated events happening to free you from this devil energy, because it's what that is in astrology. It represents, or it symbolizes, a fated event that you cannot avoid. And it'll be obvious that God or the universe has conspired on your behalf. Some of you may even have a yod yod in your natal chart, which is a pretty rare minor aspect. And I don't know why it's considered a minor aspect, because it symbolizes these life-defining or life-changing moments. Another thing that you guys may have been born with is Jupiter in your 12th house, because when you have that placement, it can manifest as God having a really big presence in your life, or like you were being saved from certain situations in the 11th hour, or like life always ends up working out for you. It can manifest as really good luck. You may also be having this transit right now, Jupiter moving through your 12th house, or within the first few years of Pluto transiting Aquarius. You may have Jupiter move through your 12th house. Pluto and Jupiter, they might also oppose in your chart as well, in your natal chart, because there's two major forces on either side of you, and they're working together, sometimes to destroy strongholds or blockages in your life. And at other times, they're working together to bring in blessings and turn your future around. And the Devil card here is ruled by Capricorn. Pluto just left Capricorn, or will be officially leaving Capricorn for good on November 19th. Tower is ruled by Mars. And Pluto has a very close working relationship, we could say, with Mars. They are co-workers because they both rule the sign of Scorpio. So in other words, they are very acquainted with each other. They know how to use each other's properties and strengths to do what they need to do, because they are very exacting planets. They know how to step in for each other's weaknesses, and they work well together in this very mechanical, robotic sort of way. King of Swords is the air element all day, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And I'd say more Aquarius, because masculine energy can be very fixed like Aquarius. And I say all that to say that you guys might have strong Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, or either Capricorn or Scorpio, even Aries energy, because that's the signs that's shown up in your cards here. You don't have to have those placements in order for this pile to be meant for you. But I just wanted to mention any sort of astrological things that I'm feeling for you guys. You guys will also have no issues with attachment with this new age that you're moving into. You're going to be breaking away from something. You guys will be willing to break away from something in a split second if it doesn't feel right for you. Devil card is all about, again, what we are aligned to. And for you guys, it's like you are moving into this new age of Aquarius, having probably already went through a lot of different tower moments in your life, or times where it felt like life was happening to you, or it felt like you guys were being forced into situations that were really difficult or really stressful or really painful. You guys may have felt as though you were forced to detach and let go of certain people, certain situations, certain things that you loved in your life. And so those situations, they almost taught you guys to kind of have thicker skin in a sense, but it also taught you probably to control your emotions as well, to control your passions, to preserve your energy with this King of Wands right here for the right moment and the right time when you need to actually act and when you need to actually strike and when you need to actually move forward. Life may have sort of hardened you guys as Pluto was moving through Capricorn for the last 15, 16 years, depending on what you guys went through. But with 2 Tower cards showing up for you guys may have also learned throughout the last 15, 16 years that Pluto is moving through Capricorn to trust tower moments in your life for you to eventually get to a place where now you are using that energy or that power of destruction to benefit yourself and to benefit your life. That means that you guys have been through enough tower moments in order to turn it into a resource that you can use, again, for your own benefit. So, but this isn't like a lottery. This is not something that you guys just like stumble upon and it just kind of falls in your lap. No, you guys have gone through a lot of destruction or a lot of tower moments or a lot of difficult, painful moments in order to get to this place where you align your own abilities and your own power with the power that is in the Tower card. So also too, you guys expect some really major surprises or some really powerful surprises to happen when it comes to your professional life, when it comes to your career, when it comes to your work, because the Devil card is, again, it's ruled by Capricorn. Capricorn is an extremely ambitious sign. So you guys will see in this new age of Aquarius a lot of powerful moments happening for you professionally or within your career when it comes to work, things like that. And also too, there's a message here about karma coming to anyone or anything that has, again, tried to take your power away from you with this 5 of Swords in reverse, this Devil card right here. A lot of you guys, you stop fighting the enemy. You stop fighting the problem. You stop fighting whatever has been trying to take something from you or has been trying to control you, has been trying to enslave you, has been trying to disempower you or make you feel inferior. You guys almost like remove your hands from the situation with this 5 of Swords in reverse, almost as like to say, like, I'm not even going to get my hands dirty here. I'm going to let the universe have you. I'm going to let karma have you. I'm going to let God deal with you. And whatever this devil energy is in your life, it gets dealt with. So yeah, really interesting. Let's start grabbing you guys' tarot cards or your oracle cards. See what we get for you. Let's see if there's any sort of astrological influences or what astrological influences are working in your favor. Yeah, look at that. You guys have the 10th house coming out. This is what I was talking about. 10th house is what the devil energy is associated with. And then we have here the South Node. Okay, so we have South Node and the 10th house. So 10th house is, again, this is going to be your devil energy. 10th house is it rules the top of the chart, as you guys can see. And the 10th house is, when we're dealing with the 10th house, we're dealing with our legacy. We're dealing with like work that takes our entire lives to accomplish. We're dealing with major achievements. We're dealing with reputation, fame, notoriety, structure, hard work, discipline, even a sense of sacrifice in a way, because it takes a lot to finally get to the 10th house because it rules the top of the chart. So this is basically like climbing the mountain, trying to get to the mountaintop. So yeah, that's going to be the astrological influence over you guys's over you guys this new age of Aquarius is you guys are going to have a lot of 10th house happenings. And the 10th house will also rule your professional life, your career, your legacy, things that you're trying to leave behind for the later generations, or this is the legacy that you want to leave behind for your own name and for yourself. So yeah, with the 10th house, this is you guys finally reaching the place that you've been trying to work at, reaching for maybe your entire life. And this doesn't have to be dealing with career. 10th house doesn't just rule your professional life. Specifically, it will, but the 10th house could be your ideal life. It could be your vision for a perfect relationship or marriage or family life or health. 10th house is basically like, what is your ideal vision? What have you spent majority or almost all of your life working towards? And so again, it doesn't have to necessarily do with just your professional life. It can deal with any part of your life. But you guys are definitely climbing some sort of ladder and you're going to get there. With the south node is where we come from. So there's two nodes. You got the south node and the north node. South node is all about the past, where we come from. It rules where we are most comfortable in a sense, because we are so used to performing the south node. We are so used to operating in the south node energy that we're very comfortable there. We barely have to try. It can be a very unconscious place almost, because we've spent so much time existing in that south node energy. But at the same time, the south node can be a quite difficult place because it can feel like a rut. It can feel like a place with a lot of baggage. And naturally, we want to escape that place. Energetically, we want to get away from the south node because, again, it feels like a rut. It might be easy to do, but it's sort of like when you fall into a rut in your own life. Like, let's just say, for example, with your health, it might be very easy to practice a certain lifestyle or to eat a certain way or not take care of yourself, for example, right? But at the same time, it doesn't feel good when you're doing that. So again, it can be a very exhausting place because it can feel so heavy. And it's that heaviness that keeps reminding us that, yeah, this might be your comfort zone, but you also don't like being here because you know that you know your potential and you know you can achieve more, you know you can do better. And so the south node is kind of like a ghost in astrology because of that. So with you guys, another major aspect that's kind of following you guys around or will have a big influence over you guys' new age in Aquarius will be the south node. And so again, this is all about where you come from. It's almost like past life karma, past life energy. So there could be a lot of past situations trying to find you or trying to follow you around. Devil card energy, something that doesn't want to let go of you. This is that south card or south node influence. I don't want to let go of you. I have controlled you for a long time. I have had ownership over you for a long time. And this is that south node energy not wanting to let go of you. So this could be a relationship. This could be a job. This could be a lifestyle. This could be a mindset. This could be an environment. This could be a community. But again, this is exactly what you guys are working to destroy with the south node here. And the tower card energy. Also too, this is confirming the message that came through earlier with you guys being a phoenix rising out of the ashes. And the ashes is what it represents or symbolizes: something old, something that has expired. That's why it is ashes. And we rise from that place. We rise from the past. And south node is a lot like that. We rise from this place. So with you guys, it's also confirming the message too that I said, where I said that a lot of you are going to be breaking and shattering any old generational patterns or cycles, anything like that, any sort of pattern that you guys or cycles that you guys have been a part of. You guys are definitely breaking out of that. You're breaking free from that and you are achieving. So for a lot of you with this 10th house card right here, you may have always wanted to achieve breaking out of or breaking away from something that you felt has always held you back or that you felt has always tried to control you. This is you guys really embracing, taking your power back and claiming your own independence. So really great news with that. Okay, let's see what frequency you guys are shifting into with this new age of Aquarius. Look at that. We have fire, just like your King of Wands. And then we have knowledge, just like your King of Swords. So yeah, with fire here, you guys are ready to, again, like we spent your entire reading talk about, you guys are ready to burn anything down to the ground. I think I even said that during your reading, that you guys are, with this new age of Aquarius, you are willing to burn your own life to the ground if it means that you need to do that in order to escape some sort of devil energy. And I think it's interesting too that in this particular devil card, they're surrounded by flames and you guys have fire here. So again, like I said, Phoenix rising from the ashes. This is you guys burning things down to nothing, where all that's left is the ashes, and rising from that. I don't want to call you guys scary, but it's like you guys are going to almost be a little intimidating with this new age that you're moving into, because people in situations are going to be able to sense that you have no problem cutting anything or anyone off. You have no problem leaving situations on red and going, nope, not interested anymore. I am severing this from my life. I am burning this down to the ground. I will destroy this if I have to. I will walk away from everything and start over again. You are not in control of me. And that has somebody or something scared in pile one's life, is the fact that you don't need them. You don't subscribe to this dynamic anymore where they are over you and you are under them, where they're superior and you are inferior, where they have more control, they have more power, they have more abilities to affect your life. It's like you guys stop believing that and you start totally tapping into your fire. Also fire here. This is about passion. This is about what motivates you, what excites you in life. Fire can be a very destructive energy. We have flames as well here on the Tower card. So fire can be a very destructive energy. So for you, like we talked about earlier, this is you deciding, this is you tapping into that Pluto energy and deciding, do I want to use this fire to burn things down and purify my life? Or do I want to use this fire to keep something warm and to grow it and to nourish it? Fire is also confirming that you guys are going to be going through a lot of cycles with your ego, within your ego. And when we're dealing with the ego, we're just dealing with these identities that we are attached to. So this is you guys breaking away from things, detaching from old identities once you feel that they have served you, moving away from them, and then building something brand new from the ground up. So there's a lot of power here when it comes to you guys tapping into your own fire, your own passions, your own excitement for life, and you guys really feeling as though you have a good grip on your own life, and knowledge is what is going to provide or open up that door and that opportunity for you guys. So you could be going back to school. You could be learning about a new talent, a new skill, tapping into a new talent or a new skill. Spending this knowledge is also you guys spending a lot of time, gaining a lot of experience, but knowledge is going to give you guys that power and that ability to tear something down just because you don't like it or align with it anymore, or resonate with it anymore, and rebuild it from the ground up all over again. You guys will have no problem doing that because you have learned so much, especially over the last 15, 16 years. You guys have a lot of knowledge. You've learned a lot from the South Node situation, these South Node Devil card pass situations and experiences. You guys have learned a lot. That knowledge is invaluable, and it has given you guys like a brand new lease on life, where now you are able to do with this knowledge whatever it is that pleases you. Very King of Swords energy here. So again, this is you guys feeling very in control. And it's not that you see everything and everyone as disposable, but you also stop viewing things as necessary to your survival maybe, or necessary to your growth or your achievements and your success in life. This is also you tapping into your own knowledge, tapping into universal knowledge, using that knowledge to your ability. And this is also you guys too coming across different people and experiences and situations that you learn a lot from. With this King of Swords knowledge card right here, you learn a lot from the people that are about to enter into your life with this new age of Aquarius here. And again, Aquarius, it rules the mind, it rules mindset, it rules humanity, it rules the collective. So this is definitely too you guys learning a lot about yourself through this new age of Aquarius as well. And being shocked too with this knowledge card. I feel like you guys are going to shock yourself in terms of, I'm going to keep shuffling because that was a few cards. I feel like you guys are going to shock yourself in terms of however it is that you however it is that you feel, whatever it is that you feel you need to do with this new age of Aquarius, I feel that you guys are going to shock yourself in terms of like, oh, I didn't know I was capable of doing this. Or I don't know, it's just something a little shocking about this knowledge card. Like whatever it is that you discover or learn about yourself may be very, very shocking. But we have here what came out for you guys. Look at that, repeating patterns, awareness. What is the lesson? Break the cycle. This is exactly what I was talking about. This is just confirmation of exactly what I was saying earlier, where you guys with this new age of Aquarius, you are the theme for you is being the Phoenix rising and breaking cycles, breaking patterns. So yeah, this is just confirmation of that. Awareness, what is the lesson? This is that knowledge, South Node energy right here, when we're dealing with the past, when we're dealing with patterns. This is totally South Node energy. That's all the South Node is. It's just something that we have done repetitively over and over and over again to the point where it just it exists on autopilot. And so it takes a lot of awareness to break out of that. Then we have here moon, honor the phases, respect where you are, self-care, and sync with the cycles. You guys are syncing with brand new cycles with this new age of Aquarius. You guys are also going to be in a phase where you are honoring. You're honoring you're honoring the moon, you are honoring your spirit, you're honoring spirituality. You guys are going to get possibly a lot more spiritual, even more spiritual than what you are right now. You're just going to feel more aligned and more connected because you guys are so tapped into your own power. So also too, you guys are getting rid of the middleman somewhere. For my pile 1 people, you're flushing out the middleman. You're getting rid of the middleman. You won't need to go through some sort of like intermediary. And I don't know why that's coming through specifically with this card right here, but I just saw it. So you may also, pile 1, be tapping into your ancestry, learning about your ancestry with knowledge right here and South Node. You guys may be learning about your ancestry, where you come from, and that may also give you a lot of power as well. Or you may tap into a lot of power from that knowledge of where you come from. Let's see what specific lessons you may be learning with this new age of Aquarius. Any specific lessons? Oh, with knowledge here in this book on the knowledge card, some of you guys, you may be writing something, or you may become like a published author. So we have here balance, and then we have courage underneath the deck. And so balance says, I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. So pile 1, you're going to be feeling a lot more balanced with this new age of Aquarius. And again, it's because you are so tapped into your own fire, into your own passion, into your own power. You're going to be feeling a lot more courageous because you're not going to be feeling held hostage or enslaved by things needing to work out or by things needing to happen in a certain way. With balance here, this is pile 1 tapping into the flow, into the flow, into your own natural rhythm and into your own journey, and feeling like you can trust your journey and feeling like you can trust where it takes you. You can trust how things unfold, but also realizing too that you have a lot of power in directing how certain things happen. Okay. And then we have here, courage underneath the deck. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. This is exactly what we were talking about with your Devil card, and the King of Wands coming out to clarify your Devil card. This is you guys standing up or confronting, even battling it out with one of the biggest situations in your life that may have felt like Devil card energy. It may have felt like it ruled your life. It may have felt like you guys were enslaved to it at certain points. So you guys are going to be feeling way more bold, way more courageous, way more capable of standing up to this Devil energy as well. Something is scared of the fact that you are tapping into this power. I don't know what it is. It's probably different for each one of you, but something is scared of that. It definitely is. We also have Saturn here on this card that I'm just realizing. Saturn will be associated with the Devil card because the Devil card is ruled by Capricorn, and Mars, who rules the Tower, is exalted in Capricorn, who's ruled by the Devil. So that's getting a little bit deeper. But in other words, this will be the Tower card being exalted in the Devil card energy here. And so that kind of tells me that for you guys, you know how some people, they work better under pressure. For you guys with this new age of Aquarius, it's almost like your power works better in devil card situations, or it comes out stronger in devil card situations. That's when your passion, your fire really comes through. Maybe that's when your courage really comes through. It's like spiritual adrenaline or something here in you guys' pile. And then let's just pull one final card for my pile ones. We have Geb Prosperity. And what also flew out for you too is Taweret, I believe, Genesis. Underneath the deck, we have Beset Passion, just like your fire card here. So we have Prosperity and Genesis. So Genesis is sort of like full card energy, brand new beginnings. And Geb Prosperity here, this is sort of like saying there's a new beginning here, a new prosperous beginning. Okay, and Prosperity here says, God of the earth and all animals, he is usually depicted lying on the ground with plants and fruit on his body, or as a bearded man with a goose on his head. The emblem representing the hieroglyph of his name, Geb symbolizes wealth, fertility, and abundance of nature, but also its most feared forces. Yeah, this is... it's like you guys are going to be intimidating. Anyways, it says with Geb, you can trust in slow but constant development, such as the realization of a project or the conclusion of a program. This is you guys' 10th house card coming out here. And then it says you might experience extremely pleasant, tranquil, and tender emotions, full of harmony and moral integrity. And that could be your balance card as well. And Genesis here says she is the great protectress of pregnant women and children who is vigilant even in her sleep. God is depicted with the features of a pregnant hippo with human breasts, standing on 2 legs and with a crocodile's tail on her back. She is considered the mother of the sun, fire energy, and collaborates in his daily rebirth. Again, this is you guys tapping into that Plutonian energy, the power of death, birth, and rebirth. And it says, as well as helping the deceased to be reborn to a new life. So this is, again, you guys tapping into that Pluto energy. So this is why pile 1 is harnessing this tower energy in order to birth a new life. And this is what Genesis is saying for you guys as well. It says she symbolizes everything that leads to the generation of things in their appearance. You could start some new projects or have news on the way. This could be that King of Swords and Knowledge card. It says the birth of something new, the arrival of a new life, or the beginning of a relationship in your life, both in the beginning phase and in the sense of a bond that is welded, such as marriage. So this could even be with this new age of Aquarius that you guys are moving into, like starting a family. This could be you guys starting a family. This could be you maybe having more kids if you already do. This could be you getting married. This could be you guys giving birth sometime soon or during this new age of Aquarius, or more metaphorically, you guys giving birth to a brand new life, whatever that looks like for you. Like we were talking about with your 10th house, this is your ideal vision of the perfect life, of the life that you want to create or have been working your entire life to create. So definitely expect to see that happen for you guys with Genesis here, talking about new beginnings and Geb Prosperity. So this is a prosperous new beginning, or in other words, this is a new beginning that is very promising. Okay, so that's what you guys are moving towards with this new age of Aquarius, or that's what your new age of Aquarius will look like. Definitely Phoenix rising themes all over your spread here. But pile 1, this is all that I'm saying for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit for these messages, Gab and Taweret for coming through, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. All right, pile 2, welcome to your reading. So we are starting off with your tarot cards. Then I will be pulling some additional oracle cards to check out what this new age of Aquarius has in store for you. So getting started with your tarot card energy, we have here the Lovers, and I have to cover them up because YouTube does not allow any sort of nude images. So hold on. But we have here the Lovers. Then we have the King of Wands in reverse. And then we have the Three of Swords. Okay, so pile 2 for you. This new age of Aquarius will have you questioning a lot. There's lots of questioning the old regime, or the old powers or what rules your life thus far. There's a lot of self-reflection here as well, because this new age is about proving yourself wrong, realizing these limiting beliefs are not real. Some of you are Neptune, Pisces, Jupiter, maybe Sagittarius dominated people. Maybe Neptune is in your 1st or your 10th house, maybe 7th house. And I just heard, don't let this make you bitter either. I don't know. But don't let something make you bitter. Maybe some sort of experience. Could be this 3 of Swords over here. But don't let disappointment or pain alter your outlook on life, pile 2. I know that can be difficult. And sometimes too, I also struggle with that a little bit, because I feel like sometimes we almost need to have our outlook on life altered. And maybe not need, but I really don't question anymore, me personally anyways, how life unfolds. Because I'm a firm believer in sometimes you have to get lost in order to discover certain things or find certain things. You guys may feel like you need to take off your rose painted glasses, or in other words, like you've been naive somewhere, because Lovers is a very powerful card. It represents desire, chemistry, attachment, temptation, love even. And love is an extremely powerful force. It motivates us to do things because we want to and not because we need to. So love is like the opposite of doing things out of survival. It's more so like doing things out of desire. And Knight of Wands in reverse is saying you guys fall in love, or maybe fell in love fast or easily, maybe with a person or an opportunity or an offer, fill in the blank, but something may have drawn you in and you could have thrown logic out of the window. Maybe you didn't pay attention to the red flags or everything that was being presented in front of you. But this Knight of Wands, it looks like someone who was going so fast, they didn't see the cliff and they went right off of it and ended up dealing with the 3 of Swords situation, the card of disappointment. But more specifically, the 3 of Swords talks about making the wrong choice, because the card that comes before it, which is the 2 of Swords, says, I don't know, I can't make my mind up. There's pros and cons to my left and there's pros and cons to my right. And eventually it leads to the 3 of Swords, where things don't necessarily work out. Either they make the wrong choice or no choice at all, and it leads to regret or sorrow and remorse. So you might be dealing with this refusal to accept how something turned out right now, pile 2. But I heard for you guys, you will get your happy ending, but you guys will more than likely at some point take time apart from this lover situation. And again, this doesn't have to be a lover or a romantic relationship. This could be a job. This could be a friend, an offer, an opportunity, a dream, a goal, or a choice that you guys made and wish you could take back. Lovers used to be called choice in the older decks, and there was a third person between the couple in some really old tarot decks. So you guys may feel like someone or something interfered and caused irreparable damage. You guys may have gone through a situation where you feel like someone put a wedge between you and your happiness, or like someone else derailed your plans with the Knight of Wands in reverse here. This may have happened more than once too, because you see how there's 3 different swords. If you focus in on the swords in this 3 of Swords card here, there's 3 different swords stabbing into this heart. So pile 3, you may have been subjected to the same disappointment over and over again from different situations or different people or different experiences or different seasons and times in your life. This new age of Aquarius, for a lot of you, it has you guys distancing yourself from anyone that doesn't want to see you happy. And at least it's how they come across to many of you. That's how you are seeing this person or the situation, because they keep getting in the way somehow with this Knight of Wands in reverse. They keep getting in the way of you guys' passions, or your desires, or what you love, what you want to pour yourself into. And this could be a parent figure or a mother figure for some of you. For those of you where this keeps happening in your relationship, it could be your partner's family or a parental figure that keeps causing problems. And pile 3, you guys definitely stop allowing something or someone to get in the way of your dreams. You stop listening to them as well, and you stop allowing them to poison your mind with maybe doubts or fears or negativity. In other words, you guys stop allowing these interferences and disruptions to have any sort of say in your life. And pile 3, you may have given a lot of people or this one person chance after chance, but you start seeing them for who they are. And instead of blaming the dream or vision or goal for this 3 of Swords, how things turned out, you blame the interference instead. And if there's been any self-sabotage, this new age in Aquarius will see the end of that as well. Knight of Wands in reverse is someone who forgets who they are. They forget that they are the Knight of Wands. You guys may have always dealt with issues downplaying yourself, your skills, your talents, and this new age will help you question the ways that you've been conditioned to downplay yourself with this 3 of Swords over here. So a lot of you with this new age of Aquarius, you're definitely going to be encouraged to challenge your own limiting beliefs and to challenge the ways that you have been conditioned in the past, the way that you've been brought up, the things that you have been almost programmed to believe or to expect. There's going to be a lot of questioning that and proving it wrong. Definitely proving it wrong. Let's grab a clarifier because I did that for the last pile. So let's grab a clarifier for your Lovers card. We have the 2 of Pentacles in reverse, World in reverse underneath the deck. So yeah, this is definitely for you guys with this 2 of Pentacles in reverse. This is definitely talking about the instability in you guys as either a relationship in your romantic life, when it came to your desires in life, your goals in life, with this Lovers card right here. So there was a lot of instability, a lot of ebbs and flows, and it may have made you guys feel like things were not going to work out, or it may have shifted your expectations where you didn't hold something in high regards, where maybe you figured that things were going to just end badly anyway. You may have learned to develop a pessimistic sort of point of view or a pessimistic outlook on certain relationships or things that you desired in your life. Especially if they were unstable or they just sort of kept ebbing and flowing and you never really knew when the tide was going to turn. So that was a lot of what you guys dealt with in the past. And that's something that is getting corrected in this new age of Aquarius for you guys, where it may have really triggered you. It may have made you feel unsafe, unsupported. A lot of my pile 2s, you may have danced or even currently be dancing back and forth within a certain relationship or experience, or going back and forth between something that you really want and, pursuing it versus stepping back. This is also confirming what I said in the beginning about you guys having a limited perspective, or almost feeling as though you looked at something naively, or like the tides turned out of nowhere with this 2 of Pentacles in reverse, clarifying your lovers here. This is almost like, for example, just an example, this is almost like meeting someone, getting into a relationship, they seem really great. And then within a few months or within a few years, things just change drastically. And it's like the relationship is very different, or it's very stressful, or it's not as fun, or you guys keep breaking up and then getting back together, breaking up and then getting back together, especially with this Lovers card or this World card in reverse underneath the deck. This is about not having the World card upright, is all about having perspective over everything. They are at a certain distance from the world or from reality where they can see everything. And so again, it's just all about having perspective. It's as well, it's all about having a destination or ending up in a specific place. So for you guys, for the World card to come out in reverse underneath the deck to clarify your Lovers card, this is about the tides turning and things ending up in a place where you never saw it going. Again, like we talked about, or like we discussed with your Knight of Wands in reverse over here, it's like you didn't see the cliff and you went right off of it, and it ended up something that started out really beautiful with the Lovers here, it ended up with the 3 of Swords sort of feeling. And so that's exactly what your new age of Aquarius is addressing. It's addressing these great loves that you had. And this could be like, I'm just grabbing a clarifier for your Knight of Wands, but it's a chunk of cards. I'm gonna keep shuffling. But it's like it's these great loves that you had in your life with the Lovers card right here. And there was just so much either instability going after these things, pursuing these things that you wanted, or there was interferences with these ups and downs. It was like interferences. Something was very volatile about your Lovers card situation. And the Lovers can represent anything. It can represent a relationship. It can represent another person, or it can just represent something that we really love, something that we really desire, we really want it in our life. Let's grab a clarifier for your Knight of Wands in reverse. But also too, it's like something that you guys really wanted in the past. It may have made you feel like you were chasing it with this Two of Pentacles in reverse. You may not have liked that feeling. Eventually, you may not have liked that feeling of having to pursue something, having to chase something, because it felt like it may have felt like it was running away from you and like you were chasing behind it. So it may have left you feeling, it may have really damaged your self-esteem in ways with this Two of Pentacles in reverse. It may have made you feel undeserving of this Lovers card. Yeah, we have the Hangman coming out to clarify your Knight of Wands, Ace of Pentacles underneath the deck. Hangman is a crucifixion. Hangman is, as you guys can see, there's a halo around his head. There's a halo around his head here where it took him being hanged upside down in order for him to finally see things clearly, where he's like, oh, that's what was actually happening. But he sees things at the very end, at the 11th hour. And so right after the Hangman comes the Death card. So he finally sees things clearly as he's dying. And so he finally sees his life clearly, just as it's ending. Again, this is just confirmation of your first message that came through. Was some of you guys feel as though you had on rose tinted glasses, or like you didn't see things clearly, or like you were naive in a way, because it took the tide turning, or it took things going sour, or it took things getting derailed for you to see something clearly with the Hangman card right here. So again, you guys may have felt almost like bamboozled, or like a little bit of a bait and switch, where you were almost blinded by your extreme desire for something with this Lovers card right here. And once things sort of changed, or once things got derailed, then you saw the other side of it, like what the Two of Pentacles in reverse is talking about right here. Two of Pentacles is saying there's two sides to a situation. There's two ways to see something. There's two different values. And so pile two, like I was saying in that old example, this is like getting with someone, and then within a few months or a few years, things really change. And then you see the other side of it. It's not that you're seeing the truth of it. You just saw the other side. You saw the other possibility. And so for you, pile two, this new age is going to have your eyes really open, really expand, where you won't feel naive. You won't feel like you are only seeing the good, or like you're only focusing on what you want, but you will be able to see things more clearly if you felt as though you were blinded by your desires before. Also, too, this is working in the other direction, where for you guys that have been suffering from your own limiting beliefs and your own doubts, you're going to see straight through them. So you may start to see them as excuses to not go after your greatest desires and your greatest goals and your greatest visions. You're going to be able to see beyond these limiting beliefs. You're going to be able to see what they've been keeping you from, what they've been holding you back from. And you guys are going to realize this just before, if you haven't already, this is going to be just before Pluto moves into Aquarius, or in the very early degrees of Pluto transiting through Aquarius. Because again, like I said, this is happening. The Hangman, it happens right as he's dying. He sees life so clearly as he's losing it. That's another new age theme for you guys as well, with this new age of Aquarius, is not seeing things after the fact, not seeing things as they're happening. And again, just being able to see beyond the surface, or what's right in front of you. So this is also to you guys' discernment really being heightened, and also not having to go through heartache to see things clearly, or to see the other side of things as well. This is you being able to really take things at face value. And a clarifier here for your Three of Swords. Let's see what we get. Yeah, we got the Six of Swords in reverse. And underneath the deck here, we have the Empress, also, which rules all the threes. So the Six of Swords in reverse, you could find that with this new age of Aquarius that you are revisiting things that you separated from before, especially if these are things that you separated from because of someone else's actions or because of someone else's interference. You could find that you go back, or that you give something a chance that had maybe disappointed you in the past. So if you feel that you ran away from something in the past because you were afraid it wasn't going to work, or you were again dealing with self-sabotage, or again, like you were dealing with self-sabotage, because it's something that we talked about when looking at you guys' tarot cards here. You will be especially returning back to these things, because this is like you guys reclaiming your own life and reclaiming your own desires, your own passions, your own loves, with the Lover's card right here, and not leaving something behind, not leaving something in the past because, again, someone else interfered with it, or because you were afraid that things weren't going to work out, or because you self-sabotage. So it's like you guys are giving yourself another chance at happiness, in other words. Okay, let's start pulling some oracle cards for you, especially having the Empress underneath the deck over here. You guys may feel with this new age of Aquarius, you may be feeling like you left behind a really good opportunity or a really good deal or something that could have made you happy. You may realize for sure that, oh, I left this in the past, or I abandoned this because I didn't believe that it was going to work out, or because somebody else was interfering, or because I allowed someone to deter me from this. Let's see what astrological influences are really going to have a big impact on you. Okay, we have the 11th house that flipped over, 11th house, and then we have Chiron, and then we have Leo underneath the deck. Let me make sure that these are both your cards, though, because it's two cards that flipped over. Okay, these are your cards. We had Leo underneath the deck, but now we have Virgo underneath the deck. Okay, but we have here the 11th house and Chiron. So Chiron's a comet. It's not a planet. The legend of Chiron is this is someone who spends his life healing others' wounds that he can't heal on himself. So he ends up suffering some sort of injury or suffering some sort of wound that he has to live with for his entire life. But because he's living with that wound, that pain is a constant reminder, and he learns from that pain because he's always suffering from it. He's always dealing with it. And because he learns so much from it, he's able to heal other people's injuries that have suffered in the same way. He's able to comfort them. He's able to heal them. He's able to remedy their issues, just not his own. So in other words, there's like power in his suffering, or there's power in his wounds. And to have Chiron in the 11th house show up, this sort of tells me, or I'm sorry, this isn't the 11th house, this is the 12th house. But this basically tells me with Chiron in the 12th house that for you guys, this is like, this was the 12th house. It deals with unseen things. It deals with things that we can't see, that we are unconscious of. So this is about the hidden realms. So when we're dealing with the 12th house, this is hidden wounds that you guys are going to be dealing with, or that you guys are going to be unveiling and uncovering in this new age of Aquarius. Again, this is what we were talking about. This is just more confirmation of what I was talking about when we were checking out you guys' tarot cards. This is having those rose painted lenses on, or feeling like you are ignoring certain signs, or seeing things naively, or not seeing the whole picture. So again, this is dealing with the hidden realms. These are things that you didn't realize before that you are going to be uncovering, you're going to be unveiling, and you're going to realize that I can actually heal this, or there's a lot of knowledge here. There's a lot of power here. There's a lot of information here for me that I can use for my own process of healing, or that I can use for my own to evolve. I can use this in my own development. So the new age of Aquarius, like I said, you guys are going to be realizing, you guys are going to be questioning the old powers in your life. You guys are going to be questioning the ways that you were conditioned, the things that you were made to believe. And these things that you guys were made to believe, it's hurt you in a lot of ways. With Chiron showing up here, it's hurt you in a lot of ways. It has made you maybe miss out on a lot of happiness with this Lover's card over here. Also, too, you guys are going to realize whatever interferences have been maybe under the radar for you. There's been certain interferences that you guys weren't aware of in the past that has gotten in the way of your happiness. And you guys are going to be seeing that. You're going to be realizing that. And you guys are going to be curing that or remedying that with this new age of Aquarius. 12th house, it also rules isolation. It rules mental health. It rules spirituality. It rules God. 12th house is also the house of the undoing. It's where our ego is dissolved. It's where all the lines of separation are destroyed, and we return to source, or we return to the all. We return to this sense and this feeling of oneness. And so again, you guys are going to be realizing with Chiron in the 12th house here that you had some sort of interference, Chiron, some sort of wound that may have been interfering with your ability to feel connected. And we also have the Lover's card here, which is all about connection. It's all about fusion and unity, unifying with something that we love or something that we desire or something that we want in our life. So again, this is you guys definitely realizing and coming to terms with or even healing things in this new age of Aquarius. You're going to be basically healing certain interferences, or you're going to be dealing with them where they are not getting in the way of your happiness anymore. It's not getting in the way of your ability to connect, your ability to feel unified or intimately connected to your own happiness or things that you want to feel close to. Also, this Chiron card can be talking about there was a person or an individual maybe in your life that was projecting their own life wounds onto you and keeping you from really embracing your happiness in a way, or they may have almost encouraged you in very subtle ways to self-sabotage your own happiness, because again, they may have been projecting their own fears and doubts onto you. They may have been projecting their own negativity onto you, where they're like, oh, that's not going to work out for you, or this is not going to make you happy, or this is going to end badly for you. And you may have saw that sort of like manifest in that way every single time. And it could have been because of this other person projecting those feelings and their own doubts and stuff like that onto you. So yeah, you guys are also going to be realizing that with this 12th house here. Like I said, 12th house rules the hidden things. It rules us discovering things that have been hidden from us. And we discover things in this 12th house so we can progress on to the first house and basically be reborn or reincarnated again. And we can essentially start a new journey, and we don't have to like die, like literally die in order to start this new journey. Just like your what's it called? Your Hangman card came out to clarify your Knight of Wands in reverse. And like we talked about with the Hangman, he opens his eyes and he realizes everything that's been happening in his life as he's dying, as he's losing his life. And that's exactly what the 12th house does as well. We realize things at the very end of our journey. That is when our eyes become open. And that's exactly what's going to be happening with you guys moving into this new age of Aquarius. Lots of realizations, lots of questioning things. This is like the age of really embracing your intellectual powers. But we have here, look at that, true self flipping over for you. Connect to soul, like we were talking about, connecting back to that sense of oneness. Connect to soul. Heed inner guidance, purify energy. You guys are connecting to your true self that knows you deserve to be happy. This is you also connecting back to your true happiness with this Lover's card over here. True self. So some sort of lesson or journey is coming to an end for you guys, because this is too many cards talking about kind of like the end with the 12th house and like with the Hangman, as we spoke about. Even sort of like with Chiron here, there's too many things that is sort of getting tied up for you. There's too many things coming to a close for you, so you can actually realize the entirety of what's been happening. So you guys' like perspective can enhance or amplify, where you can see things clearly and you can see what's been happening. In order for you to connect to your true self, in order for you guys to connect to things that are actually going to make you happy, in order for you to realize the different influences that's been happening in your life that have been hidden, or they've been masked behind like, you know how people will say like, oh, I'm being honest with you and I'm telling you that this isn't going to work out because I love you or because I care about you. And while that may be true, two things can be true at once. People can be trying to look out for us and tell us that something isn't going to work out for us because that is their version of love. But at the same time, it's like that might not be our truth. That might not be our reality. Maybe that's their reality. Maybe that's something that they have experienced. And so you guys are also going to be realizing that underneath that, we have here boundaries and cleanse and release. So that's another thing that you guys are going to be doing, is cleansing and releasing a lot of whatever sort of energies you guys have taken on here. You're going to be cleansing and releasing other people's perspectives, other people's opinions, other people's advice, and boundaries. You guys are going to be really creating boundaries around other people's ability to influence how you see your life and how you pursue your own happiness and pursue the things that's going to make you happy with this Lovers card over here. So boundary says reclaim space, inner, outer, and energetic boundaries. So you guys are going to be making boundaries there. I forgot. I'm going to leave this out too. Cleanse and release. It says clear blocks, listen to your system, and let energy flow. So there was a block here. And we see that also with your Chiron card over here. And underneath the deck for you guys, we have ego illusions. It says, don't believe thoughts, inner stories befriend the ego. Like I said, with the 12th house, this is the house of the undoing. This is where the ego goes to die, is in the 12th house, and it goes to die there. So we can be released of the ego, because the ego is just the place. It's the part of our soul that is projected. So it's like our spirit. It's the part of our soul that's projected. And we project parts of our soul so we can actually experience this human incarnation. But when we are living through the ego is just the part of us that gets attached to certain labels and certain identities and certain definitions. And so we have to go through the 12th house so we can finally be stripped of that ego. And we're stripped of that ego so we, again, can embrace our true self over here. Like we have the true self card. And so that's really necessary for you guys. And that's something that's going to be a consistent theme for you with this new age of Aquarius. Let's grab some life lessons card here. What are you guys going to be learning with this new age of Aquarius? We have growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. This is that Hangman card coming out for you. And then we have here purpose. I know what I'm here to do. This is you guys definitely embracing your true self. This is also you guys too, really creating some new boundaries. And it's going to be boundaries around your purpose. You guys are going to realize that your purpose is to be happy with the Lovers card over here. And you guys are going to outgrow whatever limiting beliefs was suffocating your potential before, or your potential for happiness, or your own personal potential. There was something that was really like suffocating, almost like compressing you and keeping you from your own happiness with this Knight of Wands in reverse and this Three of Swords over here. You guys are growing beyond that. You're growing past that, and you're really embracing your purpose. So that's another thing that this new age of Aquarius is going to have you doing, or your new age of Aquarius is going to have you doing, is really embracing your purpose in a way where you guys are not afraid of what comes of that. You're not afraid of how you grow from that. You're not afraid of where it takes you. So you guys are really growing out of any sort of ego illusions, out of any sort of limiting beliefs for sure. Just more confirmation, especially with this cleanse and release down here, and ego illusions, boundaries, true self. Yeah, your true self is your purpose. So your purpose is just a manifestation of your truth and your true self, and why your soul incarnated here in the first place. Let's see what themes. Hold on. Okay, that went flying. We have here new moon. New moon, and then underneath the deck we have courage. Similar to pile one, courage also came out for pile one, not in this particular deck though, but some of you guys may have been drawn to pile one. But we have here new moon and courage. So new moons happen once a month, right? And with a new moon, the moon is invisible during a new moon. And this basically symbolizes a time astrologically where moon is our soul. It represents our soul in astrology. So your soul is your truth. It's your essence. It's who you are at your core. It is who you are under all these different layers of ego and labels and identities and definitions and attachments. Once you pierce all those different labels, at the very core, you're going to find your moon lunar energy, which is your soul. It's your essence. It's your truth. It's your true self. So with the new moon, again, we have this theme coming up again where it's like this 12th house. We are starting over again with the new moon, and we are starting over in a sense where we are going through this shedding of the ego so we can embrace our true self, we can embrace our purpose, and we can move forward with this new agenda or this new identity and this new motivation. And this is the courage to be able to do that, to embrace the true self, to to embrace my own essence and to live through that truth. So it's just more confirmation of the same thing that keeps coming out over and over and over again. You guys are cleansing and releasing. This is another thing that we do with the new moon. New moons, though, as well, may be a very powerful time for you. So with the new moon, we just had the new moon in Scorpio. Maybe you guys work with the next new moon. Whenever you guys see this is basically a timeless reading because Pluto's going to spend 20 years in Aquarius. But with the next new moon, maybe set some intentions for you guys to really embrace your true self and to not have a fear to go after things that's truly going to make you happy, because somewhere you guys have been almost suppressing your truth or suppressing your purpose, suppressing your happiness, and even self-sabotage some of you have gone through. So maybe set intentions during the upcoming new moon to cleanse and release, just like this Chiron energy. Cleanse and release whatever's been holding you back from your own essence, from your own truth, from your own purpose, from your own core, because that is your truth is your power. Okay, your authenticity is your superpower. And when we are tapped into who we are authentically, who we truly are, nothing can stop you. Things can try, they're always going to try, but you protect yourself by moving through your own authenticity and by moving through your own truth. Okay, and then let's just pull a final message for you guys here. We have here Satet, fruitfulness. Yeah. And then we have Thot, wholeness. And Satet, fruitfulness, says she is depicted as a woman with the crown of Upper Egypt with 2 gazelle horns on top. Her name derives from she who pours, which symbolizes the floods of the river Nile, or she who runs like an arrow. That is the current of the flowing river. In fact, she represents natural forces and phenomena. As goddess of fertility, she could signal to you the successful start of a new project or a new job, just like new moon here. This is you guys starting over, cleanse and release, true self. And it says, if you are in search of love, just like your lover's card, Satet can help you and answer your wishes. If you are already in a relationship, she can bring you stability, like we talked about with your 2 of Pentacles in reverse coming out to clarify your lover's card. A lot of you guys have gone through ebbs and flows or unstable situations within your relationship or whatever it is that makes you truly happy. And it says, yeah, she can bring you stability or even marriage because she protects new projects. So you guys are definitely moving into some sort of a new project with this new age of Aquarius. It's going to be a very fruitful time for you guys when it comes to going after what truly makes you happy. It's just about you guys embracing your true self and not allowing anything to derail you from embracing your authenticity and embracing the things that you truly want in your life. This is a time for you guys to authentically go after whatever it is that your heart desires, and whatever it is going to feed your soul, not your ego. Okay. Not that the ego is a bad thing. The ego is very necessary as well. It plays its own part. But you guys have had to really pull back layer upon layer upon layer to really access your own essence. And now that you guys are doing that, you're moving out of that 12th house and back into the 1st house. You're going to be able to start off on almost like a brand new journey, but in an authentic way. Okay. So expect this new age of Aquarius again to be you guys breaking a lot of limiting beliefs and breaking out of your own limits in order to embrace your true self and to finally manifest true happiness over here, whether that's with a person, a romantic relationship, your own job, a different part of your own personal life, whatever it is that it looks like for you. That's definitely going to be happening within this new age of Aquarius. But pile 2, this is all that I'm saying for you guys. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, as well as Satet, for these messages. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye. All right, pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we are starting off with your tarot cards. Then I'll be pulling some additional oracle cards, maybe some clarifiers, just to check out what this new age of Aquarius has in store for you. And more specifically, we're looking into this 20-year Pluto transit through Aquarius, not necessarily the age of Aquarius, which is like a 2,000 plus year process. So just specifically, we're looking into your Plutonian energy, what's going to be happening over the next couple of decades for you. So getting started with your tarot cards, the very first one that we have here, we have the 10 of Swords. We have the 2 of Cups in reverse. And then we have the 8 of Wands also in reverse. Have you guys been dealing with chronic fatigue or like lack of motivation, brain fog? Has like your digestive system, would that be it? Has that like been off or like out of whack? Or have you been dealing with like food aversions or changes like with your food or what you're able to eat? Acid reflux, heartburn, indigestion, stuff like that. Yeah. First message coming through, if that is the case for you, is to focus on restoring your health and energy levels, pile 3. Spend as much time as you need to doing that. Honestly, I feel like that's something that you guys are going to get into either way. Even if you don't feel like it, I feel like you guys are going to stumble into that. Because there's a mismatch here with either your diet or your health routine. Like, for example, let's say that like you have a super demanding job. So like you work a lot of hours. By the time you get home, you probably don't feel like cooking dinner for yourself, and you definitely don't have the energy to like make it healthy. So instead, it's easier to just grab something that's quick and convenient to save time so you can get home, do what you got to do, and then get to bed. And it might seem counterintuitive, but taking that extra time after working so long to get a nutritious meal in will, yes, of course, it'll take more time, but it will also give you the energy that you have been in need of. And that's what I mean by there's like a mismatch here. You guys have a lot going on. So it's challenging to live consciously from time to time, but it's going to help you guys because doing the quick, easy, convenient thing is what's contributing to the fatigue, the brain fog, the lack of motivation, possibly even like the issues with your digestive system. And I'm not a doctor, obviously. So please like go to a professional, get the right treatment plan, and please take care of yourself, pile 3. Because you guys have been, some of you guys anyways, have been getting by. Your 10 of Swords feels like doing what you have to do just to get through the day or the next hour. And no one deserves to live like that. So get in touch with a professional. Then you can try all like the energy maintenance stuff afterwards, like maybe Reiki, yoga, sound therapy, hypnotherapy. Some of you may want it to even get into Pilates. Some of you guys too, you're too sedentary. Maybe you work from home. I wouldn't be shocked if those of you drawn to this pile or drawn to this reading, if you work from home, you may have felt a pull towards pile 3. Because this 10 of Swords, it looks like almost like being in like a jail cell. And that's more metaphorical, the way that the spirit guides are kind of like showing me or communicating it to me. It's more metaphorical. It's not like literal in other words. It's just more so like being surrounded by 4 walls, not a lot of windows, not a lot of light, not getting out in nature. So you may spend a lot of your time sitting, a lot of the day sitting, not moving too much, not getting out as much. And when that happens, energy can become very stale, like in our bodies. It's kind of like when you have like sitting water somewhere, water just kind of like sitting and it starts to mold or whatever happens with water. That's kind of what happens to energy when we're not moving our bodies. So moving our body is really important, and just getting out and outside, because something here feels a little claustrophobic with your 10 of Swords. Yeah, some of you guys, you may really feel like a strong urge to get into like something like a strong urge to get into something like yoga, where you can sort of focus on breath work and connecting with your body. For you, it's all about mindfulness, pile 3. Some of you as well, you really miss someone. You really, really, really miss someone. And this could be because they're no longer earth side, and so you can't reach them at all. You know, no matter what you do, the 2 of Cups in reverse, 8 of Wands in reverse. Others of you miss someone and you won't reach out to them because you don't know how receptive they'll be. You may think that they would reject any sort of contact that you try to make with them, or maybe they have rejected your attempts to get into contact with each other. The new age of Aquarius for you, pile 3, will totally have you focused on controlling the pacing of your life and getting mindful. You guys may feel like life was moving really quickly in the past, especially as Pluto was traveling through Capricorn. the last 15, 16 years, because Pluto spends a lot of time in the signs. It's the furthest planet from the sun. So relative to planet Earth, it spends a lot of time transiting each of the signs. So for you guys, as the last 15, 16 years, or a good chunk of that time, it may have felt like life was moving really quickly for you guys. And like you didn't take your time to savor past experiences. Some of you may have some regrets with this Two of Cups in reverse and feeling like you wished you would have been more present or enjoyed what you had in the past or enjoyed what your life used to look like or used to be like. Maybe you look back and go like, man, life was so much simpler back then. With the Ten of Swords here, some of you feel like you spent way too much time focused on what you didn't like in the past, or like you spent too much time complaining or trying to fix something that maybe looking back on it now, today, you may feel like, oh, there was nothing wrong with that situation, or nothing needed to be fixed, like I should have enjoyed that time, or I should have enjoyed that fill in the blank. And so this Ten of Swords is saying many of you are carrying around too much weight or baggage in terms of regret. And also with this Two of Cups in reverse, we have a portion of you in this pile that take on the responsibility or feel like you pushed someone in your life away. You may wish you could do the relationship over. And there's a lot of reflection on the past, and your guides are saying it's doing you no favors or it's doing you no good with this Ten of Swords right here. Okay, spending this much time focusing on the past, living in the past, wishing you could go back, dealing with the could have, should have, would have, it could definitely be affecting your mental health, pile 3, for sure. For sure. Some of you as well. Okay, if you do want to reach out to someone, pile 3, take the time to really sit with it and ask yourself, if it's not well received, what that would do to you emotionally or mentally. Okay. And if that would have too much of an impact on you emotionally or mentally, then maybe don't think about reaching out until you're able to sort of deal with whatever the reaction may be. But if you're kind of already in that space, then maybe think about reaching out to someone, because there's like a lot of like, I miss this, or I miss this person, or I miss this part of my life, or I miss this job, or I miss something. I don't know. It's like, I don't know if you guys miss like maybe some of you may miss what you used to look like. Maybe you look different. That's an odd detail coming in. Maybe you look different. Maybe you feel like something changed on you physically. Yeah. But, also some of you missed out on a lot of life as well due to being wrapped up in other things, like maybe school or work or relationship or your family or your health or even your mental health with the Ten of Swords here. Maybe a certain part of your life got really busy and you couldn't focus on anything else. This new age of Aquarius, a lot of you are making a promise to yourself to not let life pass you by and to feel more involved. This Two of Cups, while it could totally be talking about a lover or you guys' love life, what I feel like this is strongly centering on is your social life in general, pile 3. It's like a lot of you haven't had a social life in a long time. And you may have said to yourself, next time someone invites me out, I'm going to say yes, because it feels like in your pile, there's like this desire to reach out. Maybe you want to connect to other people, but you don't know how to. And it's like you don't know the first step to take. For some of you, you've been so disappointed or maybe hurt in the past that you'd rather say to yourself at this point with the Ten of Swords, even though it's not fulfilling you with the Two of Cups in reverse. Ten of Swords, it talks about hopelessness, despair, feeling incapable of mentally moving on or feeling drowned out by thoughts, especially negative thoughts. And those are the thoughts that keep you where you are at, which is in an environment that is sucking the life out of you. Because the RWS version of the Ten of Swords, I'm actually going to put a picture of it on the screen here. But that version of the Ten of Swords, it's exactly the depiction that we see is the life draining out of someone who has 10 swords in them. So this is either living in the past, carrying the weight of regret. This could be loneliness or negative thoughts with this Ten of Swords that has been draining you. It's been draining you mentally. It's been draining you emotionally, spiritually, energetically, socially. Could even be financially for some of you. But the Two of Cups is the card of merging. And this is where we become alliances, partners, or a pair, right? With the Two of Cups in reverse. And so it talks about compatibility in the sense that we both have the same cups, so let's exchange, or we both have cups that will combine well together. So in reverse, this is highlighting incompatibilities. So some of you guys, you could have trauma bonded with certain people in your past. You could realize that a significant connection of yours in the past, or a few of your connections were karmic in spirit. And this age of Aquarius that you guys are moving into, you will be severing ties from anything that anyone that you may have felt dependent on, or like codependent on, or like it was a trauma bond, or like maybe there was a karmic connection there. You guys will definitely be severing that. And this age of Aquarius for you will have you focused on fusing the right pieces of your life together, getting in sync, and learning a lot about health overall. You guys, if you aren't already, you are about to be on a journey to wellness. And you guys may even eventually at some point get into the wellness industry or self-help and coaching others. You guys could get into grief counseling as well. You guys may get into like becoming like a life coach even, because this new age will have you guys come to your own rescue and reverse with the Eight of Wands in reverse right here. It's going to have you reverse any damage that has been done to your health. Eight of Wands is the card of momentum. We have launched 8 wands in this one direction, and wands symbolize intentions, energy, actions. We have launched a lot of actions or intentions or ideas and visions at this one target, and they mean to hit that target at least one time. That's why they send so many wands, because it's like the more arrows that you fire, the more likely you are to hit your mark, right? That's the Eight of Wands. I'm going to overwhelm this target to the point that I'm going to heighten my chances of hitting that bullseye. So in reverse, this is talking about plans that have backfired. Either we are trying to reverse what has been sent out, or these intentions are being blocked. These plans are falling through. I've gone at something full force and I still haven't hit my target. I keep putting energy into something and it's just not working. I'm taking 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and that can create a lot of frustration. So this is telling me with the Eight of Wands in reverse that you guys are going to start to realize, okay, I don't need to send out more arrows or send out more wands. There is something wrong with me and this target that I'm trying to hit. That is what is incompatible with this Two of Cups in reverse. That is what I need to shift my focus. I need to change my target. I need to change my goal. And that's what's going to really be end up happening with you guys with this new age of Aquarius. But in order for you to realize that, Ten of Swords right here, you guys have to completely remove yourself from this environment or from this situation. You have to really change course. And it's like you guys are on a quest to find, or you end up finding like this elixir to life. And again, you may end up helping other people on their journey to wellness as well. Whether this is like wellness mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever, you guys may definitely end up helping other people. If you're in the trenches right now, this might sound like a yeah, fucking right type of scenario, but you cannot tell me that you do not visualize yourself healthy, happy, and at peace on a regular basis. It's all in your spread. It's all in the energy of your spread. There's a reason why you keep envisioning a healthier version of yourself, because you are on that timeline. And Pluto is going to help you guys get there as it moves through Aquarius over the next couple of decades. This is you guys permanently shifting the way that you take care of yourself, because pile 3, you are your greatest and most valuable asset. That's going to be something that you guys realize, and a switch is going to flip in your mind with the Ten of Swords here, where you say, okay, like I'm ready to give up on maybe feeling sorry for myself or making excuses for myself, or not taking control over my life in the places and in the ways that I can take control. Right? Because we can't take control of everything. Sometimes there's things that end up happening to us that we have no control over. But what we do have control over is our reaction to it. We have control over how we take care of ourselves. So I see you guys trying to shift your focus in that way, or shift your target in that way, where it's like, you know what, maybe I can't control the past. Maybe me and this person are not meant to be. Just using this as an example. Maybe we're not meant to be. So instead of me living in the past and missing the past, maybe I need to shift my focus to myself, taking care of myself, getting healthy, getting myself to a place where I'm happy with myself, where I feel good. I feel like getting out of bed. I can take care of myself. I feel healthy. And I kind of see that flip happening for you guys. Like I said, it's sort of like a switch flips. Let's grab a clarifier here. Let's get a clarifier for your Ten of Swords. Look at that. We have the Lovers coming out. This is what has, for some of you guys, and then we have the Nine of Cups in reverse. Yeah, this is what has happened for some of you guys. You maybe have gone through some sort of a breakup, a separation, a divorce, something like that. This could have even been like a really contentious or like nasty, toxic sort of breakup, or even relationship. The relationship could have been toxic on its way out. For the Lovers to come out and clarify this Ten of Swords right here. So for a lot of you guys, you feel like a relationship or a person has put you in a Ten of Swords mindset, or put you in a Ten of Swords place where it's really difficult for you to pick yourself back up. It's really difficult for you to put yourself back together after the way that things turned out between you and another person. So yeah, I forgot I did pick that up in the very beginning, that some of you guys, you really miss someone. It's very difficult for you to get over it. Let's grab a clarifier for your Two of Cups in reverse. We have the Four of Swords in reverse. It's really, really difficult for you guys to accept something that's happened. Four of Swords upright is definitely the card of like acceptance. Like, you know what? I just need to make my peace with something. So with the Four of Swords, we're able to, again, get mindful when the card is upright. In reverse is really difficult to, mentally grasp whatever is going on. We have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse underneath the deck to clarify your Two of Cups in reverse. So yeah, this is like a lot of baggage that you guys may be carrying. It could feel like you are physically, like heartbreak is actually painful. It's physically painful. Like I've been there before. Like I know, like, like romantic situations, or like when you are really in love with someone and it ends horribly, like it physically hurts. Like I get it. I've been there. So if that's what you guys are going through, take your time to get through that. There's nothing, I don't think there's anything worse that you can do than to try and rush yourself through grief or through some sort of like a breakup or a separation. That can be really difficult. But also make sure that at some point you pick yourself back up and you do everything that you can to get to a happy place for yourself, because you do deserve that. But with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, this could definitely be talking about there's a lot of baggage or a lot of memories from the past that maybe you're carrying around, but something feels physically heavy for the Seven of Pentacles in reverse to come out and clarify your Two of Cups in reverse. Some of you guys, you may even work with someone that you may work with them, or you may just have to keep seeing this person that you have separated from. Maybe you guys share a home together and you guys can't move out right now. Maybe you guys share kids together. Maybe you guys work together. Maybe you guys have a lot of the same friends, like a mutual friend group or something like that. Maybe you guys' families are very intertwined in different ways, and it's really difficult for you to separate it's really difficult for you guys to separate assets in terms of maybe like your friend group or work or the home or something like that, or like kids, if you guys have kids. With the Seven of Pentacles here, the Seven of Pentacles is about stuff that we own. And so in reverse, this could be saying like, I'm having a really difficult time separating, the things that we used to share together. That may also be why you guys are having a really difficult time accepting, with the Four of Swords in reverse, that this is no longer working, or that this connection, this relationship is over, that it's no longer working, or that you're no longer compatible with the Two of Cups in reverse. And then a clarifier for your Eight of Wands in reverse. Let's see. Okay, we've got Temperance in reverse. And also the Hangman in reverse that came out. It fell on top of your Ten of Swords. You guys really feel like you can't heal something. And not even that you feel like you can't heal something. It's more so like you guys doubt that you'll ever be whole again or be okay again. You may be in that mindset right now where just like all you can see right now, and that may be why metaphorically your guides were showing me like a prison, like what I was saying in the beginning. It's not like literally, but it's like a prison or something. I don't know. And yeah, some of you guys, you feel like I'll never be complete again, or I'll never be whole again. You may actually feel empty, or like there is a hole in your life, and you may think to yourself like, I'll never be able to feel fulfilled. I will never get to that place, or I'll never get there again. And the Hangman coming out in reverse to clarify your Eight of Wands in reverse is really special, because this is basically your guide saying you're not seeing clearly right now. You're seeing through grief, which has sort of warped or distorted your reality in a way, or your ability to see things in a realistic way. Some of you guys in this pile, or possibly even a lot of you in this pile, you're just going through a chapter or season or phase right now where you may need to sort of feel down about something. You may need to work through that grief. You may need to feel like, or think to yourself like, this is just a bad situation, or I'm not happy right here. You know, I don't necessarily think that's the worst thing. I think it's healthy to work through grief and to work through, unhappiness and sadness and stuff like that. So, yeah, you guys, you may be actually feeling like you have taken, like I was saying with your Eight of Wands in reverse, this is sort of like saying, I'm taking one step forward, two steps back. You guys may feel like that. You may feel like the end of your relationship, or the way that things have turned out between you and another person, or you and some sort of connection, you may feel like it has sort of put you back. You may feel like you have to start over in your life for Temperance in reverse, Hangman in reverse, to come out and clarify the Eight of Wands. Because again, like we were talking about with your Eight of Wands, this is the card of momentum. So basically this is talking about a trajectory. My life was on track this way, and now that this Two of Cups in reverse has happened, now I've been completely thrown off track. I'm completely thrown off course. The trajectory of my life has drastically changed, and now I don't know how to get back on track. Am I ever going to get back on track? And so it may make you feel like giving up. And what is the card of giving up? That would be the Ten of Swords. So right now you guys may need to be in a place where you feel like, you just feel like I just need to lay down and take this and deal with this right now. You may need to sort of be in that place, because the weird thing about that is, like, when you're in that place, it may feel like nothing's ever going to get better, but as you're in that place, you're actually working through it day by day. It just might not seem like it, but you're working through it day by day, because life keeps moving, things keep going, time keeps spinning. And so you are getting somewhere. It just might not feel like it, and you might not be able to see it. You definitely can't see it with the Ten of Swords right now. But this Age of Aquarius is going to have you guys, it's going to have you guys, like I said, it's going to be, mindfulness is going to be the theme for you guys. And you're going to find a lot of peace, security, and power in those states of mindfulness. So you guys may really get into spiritual work, spirituality, conscious work, working on wellness, getting yourself to a place where you feel healthy, you feel complete, you feel whole, and you're able to, almost like I said, save yourself. Because that's what we're basically saying with the Hangman in reverse, Temperance in reverse. This is you guys coming through for yourself and being able to heal yourself, essentially. And also this is you guys, some of you guys, you think that forgiveness is impossible. You may think that healing is impossible. You just might not have a lot of faith in forgiveness and in healing. But this Age of Aquarius will definitely help you resolve that sort of mindset. Okay, let's start grabbing oracle cards for you guys. Let's see what we get. Let's start with some astrological influences for you guys, pile 3. So the card that we have for you is, we have, what is this? I believe this is spring. And then we have this like half moon sort of. So the words for this card here, this is spring, because I just checked the booklet. So this is spring for you guys. And this is the second half of spring, and the word for this card is growth. And this here is a waning quarter, and the word for this card was adjust. So there is, again, like we talked about with your Eight of Wands in reverse, this is your trajectory shifting or changing, drastically changing, and you guys making adjustments to that. So you guys are growing, like we were just talking about. That's also confirmation coming through. You guys are growing through what you're going through, and it just won't look like it or feel like it at the moment because you're in the damn trenches. And so you're getting by one day at a time. And so, you guys are putting in, if this is the case for you, you're putting in a lot of work emotionally as well, trying to get yourself through some sort of difficult time right now. Don't be hard on yourself because, again, like with the spring card coming out, you guys are growing through the situation, and there will be new life that comes from this. So this Plutonian energy, because it's what Pluto rules, she rules the cycles of death and birth and rebirth and transmutation, transformation. She is basically the planet of alchemy, and all the planets are in astrology in their own way. But Pluto specifically is all about alchemy, taking certain emotions or thoughts or your past or your history and alchemizing it in order to use that energy for something more resourceful. So this could be talking about taking your shadow and converting it into the light. This is enlightenment through pain, through loss, through difficulty, through fear even. So you guys are in the trenches right now, but there is going to be new life that comes from this. And new life, it could be talking about literally new life, or it could just be talking about a sense of like a new life after this or beyond this situation. Like I said, a lot of you guys right now with the Ten of Swords, you're wondering to yourself, am I ever going to be happy again? Am I ever going to feel fulfilled? Is this pain, is this hole ever going to go away? And yes, it will. It definitely will. It's just about making your way through it because, again, you guys are making adjustments. And so if you're making adjustments, that is another place that you guys may have been struggling with, is the fact that now I have to adjust my life. Now I have to adjust where I thought I was headed. And that can be an extremely, extremely difficult thing as well. Just like, for example, divorce like drastically alters your life and where you thought you were headed. You thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with that person, for example. So, that can be a really difficult thing to go through and to adjust to that new reality. But there's a new reality with the spring card here and adjust coming out for you. There's a new reality for you guys, and you guys will shift to that place, and you will be able to essentially like smell the roses and feel as though, okay, I've grown through this. The sun's coming back out. I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, in other words. So that will be happening for you guys. Okay. We have some other oracle cards. We have inner darkness. Exactly. Hold safe space, knowing patterns, and release versus feed. You see, and look at her, look at the image on this card. You guys are in the trenches, like we've been talking about. You're going through this. You are actually growing through this scenario. But you guys may feel like you're definitely in some sort of a valley right now. And this is where, for sure, you guys, especially with your Two of Cups in reverse as well, reconnect to your spiritual team. If you haven't already, reconnect to your spiritual team, reconnect to God or the universe, your higher self, ancestors, angels, guides, anything that brings you a sense of peace. Reconnect to that. If it's been a while, go to your altar if it's been a while. And don't be afraid to lean on your spiritual team. Okay. Don't be afraid to lean on them. You guys, you need that spiritual assistance right now. You need some extra, you need some backup spiritually. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what they're there for. They're there for a multitude of reasons, but especially you call on them in times of need. So you guys go to them, cry if you have to. Even if you don't say anything, even if you don't pray, even if you don't set up your altar all nice and, burn candles and say invocations, even if you just go there just to cry or just to sit at your altar or just to meditate, whatever it may be, just reconnect to a sacred space, okay? With this inner darkness card coming out, pretty much confirming that a lot of you right now, you feel as though you are in a dark place. Definitely lean on them, okay? Like it says here, hold safe space. They are your safe space. Your spiritual team is your safe space. They're there to hold space for you when you're going through situations like this, okay? And they're here to help you guys release, like it says, release versus feed. So they're here to help you guys really release too, to in other words, transmute those heavier energies and heavier emotions as you're going through this valley right now. And then underneath the deck here, we have balance. It says all is connected, balance extremes, inner and outer, just like inner darkness. And you see how one side of her is white or light and the other side is dark. This is what is happening with you guys. And then we have the yin yang symbol right here. So yeah, you guys are just, you're about to see the light at the end of the tunnel, in other words, okay? You guys will be seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And this is why I feel so strongly for you guys in your spread here that you will, the theme for you is wellness with this new Age of Aquarius. And a lot of you guys are going to be helping other people through their valleys or through their dark seasons or the winter in their lives. And you're going to help them find balance. You're going to help them reconnect to their own sense of wellness in their life. So you guys may really be learning a lot through this process, even if you don't realize it right now. Let's see what other lessons you guys may be experiencing. We have here adversity. Yeah, exactly. You guys are going through adversity right now. It says, I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. You guys are definitely going through some challenges. We see that with your Ten of Swords right here being the only upright card for you. And then the clarifiers that came out for you guys. You guys are going through a time of challenge. But like it says, I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. You guys are going to be learning, like I was just saying right before this card came out for you guys. You guys are going to be learning a lot, even if it doesn't seem like you are, but you're also going to be learning a lot so you guys can help other people through their valleys as well. And help them through their dark nights of the soul that some of you may feel like you're going through. You may be going through your process of grief. I did mention earlier in you guys' reading, you may end up getting into grief counseling and stuff like that. So this is why there's a sense of adversity in your life right now to get you guys to look at what was underneath the deck here. Happiness. I'm aware that being happy means that I'm on the right path. Again, you guys' trajectory drastically changed. Okay, so your path drastically changed, and it takes time to make those adjustments. Like the word for this, what was it? Waning quarter moon here. This card was adjust. It takes time to make those adjustments to shift our whole life to a different path, or what feels like a different path. We're always on the same path, no matter how extreme these pivots and these twists and turns feel. We're always on the same path from birth till the end of life. It's always been one path. But these pivots and these twists and turns, they can feel so extreme that it feels like we're jumping timelines, or it feels like we are entering into a whole new life. And that's what you guys are going through. So as you're making this adjustment to your path, that it makes sense for you to grieve the old path that you thought you were on. It makes perfect sense, but you guys are going to end up in your happy place. You will end up there. So yes, you're going through adversity right now. This adversity card is coming out for your, as a way for your guides to say, we see you and understand what you're going through, and they're right there with you in the trenches for sure. You're not going through this alone. Let's see what other themes you guys may have. Yeah, transformation. Ooh, and then we have jealousy underneath the deck. Oh, focus was underneath transformation, but I believe transformation wanted to be seen. But you guys see how there's a butterfly on transformation right here? So you guys are currently, you're in your cocoon. You're in a cocoon of a dark night of the soul or inner darkness. And that is where you're going to find balance by facing these challenges, dealing with this adversity, going through this adversity. You guys are going to be transformed through this dark night of the soul. it is transforming you. So you guys are in the depth of Pluto energy right now. So with this new age of Aquarius that we're about to move into, you are going to see firsthand, this is you getting a firsthand experience. This is like you sitting front row seats to your own dark night of the soul. So a lot of you may be feeling like you're having an out of body experience right now with what you're going through. It may be extremely difficult for you to mentally connect to what you're going through right now. But again, you guys are transforming, you're being transformed through the situation. Like I said, this is all about alchemy and transmutation. Okay. And then we have your jealousy underneath the deck. This may be what some of you have gone through, okay? It could be, as we all know, you can end up with partners or romantic partners that are jealous of you in some way. You could end up with friends, family members that are jealous of you in some way, coworkers, whatever, people that were jealous. Maybe they were sending the evil eye towards you. You guys were protected though with this symbol coming out in the jealousy. You guys have been protected from jealousy, and you will be protected moving forward from anybody that's sending you the evil eye, anybody that's jealous of you, jealous of your path. And it's so interesting, right? Because for those of you that resonate with I'm going through a really hard time right now, whoever may be jealous of you, they might not even know that you're going through a hard time right now. But it's really funny because growing up, my mom would always say, never be jealous of anyone because you don't know what hell they had to go through or are going through to get where they are at. And you don't want to trade people's journey for yours, because that's what jealousy can entail. You don't want to trade their journey for yours because you weren't built or designed or created to go through what they're going through, and vice versa. They weren't built and designed to go through what you've got to go through. So it's so funny that you guys are going through adversity, a dark night of the soul. You're working through transformation right now. And there could be somebody that is jealous of that because they might not see the darkness that you're going through. Obviously they don't. And they may only end up seeing what you transform into with this butterfly over here, what you become with this balance or with this happiness over here and with this balance. They may just end up seeing what you guys end up coming out on the other side of and being a bit jealous of that. Also, too, we did have the Lovers card come out for you guys with this 10 of Swords. And so once you guys get through whatever difficulty you're going through right now, you will end up connecting with the person or the partner or the situation or the life that or the destination that is meant for you. Okay, the Lovers is the 2 of Cups in reverse, but amplified times a million. So the Lovers is the major arcana version of the 2 of Cups. And so you guys are going to go from a 2 of Cups situation to a Lovers card situation. People say don't let your girlfriend or your boyfriend get in the way of your wife or your husband. That's kind of what this 2 of Cups to Lovers card situation is for you guys. Whether this is about a lover, a romantic situation, or something else in your life, you guys could be going from a 9-to-5 job to a professional career. Okay, but either way, you guys are making a minor arcana jump to a major arcana jump. So in other words, this is you guys actually being adjusted, your trajectory adjusting to something that is truly meant for you and something that's not going to disturb your sense of security. And again, it's going to help feed your sense of wellness in your life. Okay. So it's going to be something, in other words, that's good for you is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, you guys are definitely making a jump from a 2 of Cups situation to a Lovers card situation. And then let's grab a final message for my pile 3s. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. They had a lot to say to you. Okay, underneath the deck, we have your Neath Perseverance. Keep going, okay? Don't give up. You guys may feel like giving up. Don't give up. Keep persevering because there is something in store for you that is going to feel like happiness. It's going to feel like night and day, like we have with the Balance card right here. It looks like night and day. And transformation right here, the butterfly looks like night and day compared to where it came from as a caterpillar. Okay, so keep persevering. And then because all three of these flipped over for you, I'm going to read all three of these out of the book. But we have here Horus, stability and equilibrium. And yeah, he's a night and day sort of netter as well. One of his eyes is ruled by the sun, the other eye is ruled by the moon. So he is literally the manifestation, or he is the manifestation of extremes coming together and meeting. And then we have here Mertseker, I believe, righteousness. Really interesting. And then we have Sekhmet, justice. Okay, so you guys, you don't have to worry about something or someone receiving their justice, especially for this jealousy card to come out over here, adversity. And if you feel as though, someone else may have put you in this Ten of Swords sort of place or mindset, or maybe it was a breakup or something like that, there is justice. But even if it's not about like karmic retribution, this could be just more so about justice in the sense of balance and equilibrium, because that's what justice talks about. It's the sign of the scales, or justice. It deals with the scales. It deals with stability and equilibrium. This is about balancing those scales when we're dealing with justice. So this justice card could be talking about transformation, night and day, how you go from night to day. You guys are going through a dark night right now. You're going through adversity, and what it's going to lead to is happiness. So it's just about that balance. So again, keep persevering, because that will be happening for you guys. And Sekhmet says, a lioness-headed female goddess with the sun disk on her head. Sekhmet is a divinity of war, epidemics, but also the protectress of forms of healing. She is, and that's funny because that message about healing from earlier, some of you guys wonder if healing is even possible. Sekhmet is definitely telling you that it is. It says she is the expression of what the duality between disease and healing, chaos and order, water and fire, the two elements from which matter and spirit are obtained. Sekhmet brings order and punishes those who disobey divine law. You have the opportunity to reconcile the opposing energies. Remember that all the chickens come home to roost. Every person must experience the consequences of their actions, for better or for worse. Every action or thought generates a consequence. Proceed more calmly and patiently. Avoid extremes. Be your own magician. Balance your will and your goals. Be just and be fair. Learn to judge and criticize constructively without hurting others. Horus here says he is represented as a hawk or a hawk-headed man. His name means the distant one. The falcon with its majestic soaring and swooping in the sky. During a confrontation with the god Set, Horus lost his left eye, which was then healed by the god Thoth. The eye was given the name of the Eye of Horus. He embodies universal order and harmony. Put your trust in the god Horus, because everything will turn out fine. As with the albeit painful loss of false friends. Oh my God, that was one of the first messages that I got, that some of you guys really miss someone. And then we have jealousy. And this card is talking about false friends, adversity. So you guys may have been dealing with someone in your life that was jealous. They were not genuinely happy for you. And if that was the case, just know that Horus was protecting you guys from that person, from that situation. But it says, on the physical plane, you will be wrapped in harmony. His presence advises you to show more awareness in the way that you pay attention to your life. Show more awareness in the way that you pay attention to your life. What were you talking about in your entire reading? The theme for you guys with this new age of Aquarius is mindfulness. And so it says here, he helps you transform all things from an inferior to a superior level, just like you guys have the transformation card right here. And like I was saying, you guys are going from the Two of Cups to the Lovers card. And it says right here, Horus is going to help you transform all things from an inferior to a superior level. Really interesting. And then this card, Righteousness, it says her name means she who loves silence. More often depicted as a snake with a woman's head, it is a presence that watches silently and punishes evildoers with poison. Divinity of a terrible nature, but merciful with her devotees. She punishes sacrilege and those who break an oath, but is equally generous in forgiving those who are sincerely repentant. She symbolizes authority and intelligence, keywords for a full and peaceful life. Mertseker puts you on your guard against a few people you do not know well, who might bring cruelty, malice, deceit, and conflict. This is your adversity and jealousy card. You guys are definitely being protected from whoever did not have good intentions for you. Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is the card of attack. Like I said, it's all about sending a whole bunch of arrows at something and trying to hit your target. So yeah, somebody may have been sending certain intentions your way. You guys have been super protected though. It says, although you may have to endure sacrifices and renunciations, go forward. This is at Two of Cups in reverse. Go forward and trust in her profound knowledge. This is beautiful, pile 3. But you guys, this is all that I'm seeing for you. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and amazing spirit for these messages. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye. All right, pile 4, welcome to your reading. So we are starting off with your tarot cards, and I'm going to be pulling some additional oracle cards on camera, maybe even some clarifiers to check out what this new age of Aquarius has in store for you. And more specifically, we are looking into this 20-year transit of Pluto through Aquarius, because Pluto will ingress Aquarius November 18th to the 19th, depending on where you live in the world. So let's get started. Very first tarot card that we have for you is we have the Two of Swords. Then we have the Nine of Cups in reverse. And then the Eight of Cups. Okay, pile 4. So you guys may definitely be at a crossroads as we are entering into this new age of Aquarius, or this Pluto transit through Aquarius, because of the Two of Swords right here. This is definitely the card of kind of, I guess you could say, like being at a crossroads where they're basically trying to decide in the Two of Swords what the best course of action is, or what the best choice is, or the best decision. But the problem is that with the Two of Swords, as you guys can see, there's two swords on either side and they're identical. So the problem with the Two of Swords is like, okay, there's pros and cons on this side, there's pros and cons on that side. Both of these options seem identical at the moment. So how can I determine what the best option is? So with the Two of Swords, it can feel like you're stuck a little bit. And some of you may feel stuck between one decision or another. You may feel stuck between the past and the present. You may feel stuck between, should I accept something or should I leave, with the Nine of Cups in reverse and then the Eight of Cups over here. Some of you guys may be feeling stuck in the sense that the moment that you make a decision or you take action in one way, you start doubting it or start thinking to yourself, maybe this isn't the best idea. And so you may start like reversing, like trying to get out of the situation, or start retreating from whatever it is that you were doing. So this is the card that manifests as indecision a lot of the times. There could be a lot of indecisiveness when it comes to what you want, or this could be saying that you guys feel like you're in an environment or maybe dealing with certain people that don't know what they want. They could be making you feel like an option. They could be making you feel abandoned or neglected with this Eight of Cups over here. You could be feeling like your happiness or your desires, your heart's desires, are in the palm of someone else's hand or another situation's hand, and like you were never chosen, or like the option is between you and someone else with this Two of Swords right here. So you guys might be dealing with a little bit of a tense situation, or just kind of feeling like you don't know what's going to happen, and that it's sort of leaving you with this feeling of being on the edge of your seat with this Two of Swords right here. Nine of Cups in reverse. You guys may be scared. Nine of Cups in reverse or Nine of Cups upright is the card of everything working out in your favor, everything working out in the way that you wanted. And you are fulfilled on every single level because you're surrounded by all of your wants and all your favorite things. So in reverse, this could be feeling like something is blocking you from that, or this could be feeling like different parts of your life are disconnected, or like they are moving at different paces or different speeds, or maybe like one part of your life is okay while another part of your life is in shambles, or feeling sort of like your life as a whole is never all together at the same time. You guys may be feeling like you're playing catch up in a sense. You may be feeling like, oh, I'm this age, I am 25, or I'm 38, or I'm 64, or, you know, whatever age, and I'm still not where I want to be, or I'm still not where I thought I would be, or I'm still not where I think I should be, with your Nine of Cups in reverse and the Eight of Cups over here. So a lot of you may be entering into this new age of Aquarius sort of feeling like, I should be at a certain place. And that may be difficult for you guys to kind of accept in a way. Others of you as well, you could be entering into this new age of Aquarius feeling like you are one event or one moment away from things falling apart, or from your happiness being taken away or snatched away from you. Some of you are really worried about holding on to a happy place or making something manifest. Some of you are worried about how things are going to turn out, how things are going to manifest, how things are going to come together, especially with this Two of Swords over here. Again, this is talking about a little bit of mental tension, just in terms of, I don't know what's going to happen next. So a lot of you may also be entering into this new age of Aquarius sort of feeling like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what's going to happen next. You may be feeling like you're at a crossroads, and you may be feeling like you're at a crossroads, or like you're lost, and like you're not exactly sure where you were headed. You may feel like you are wandering with this Eight of Cups over here. So this new age of Aquarius, the theme for you guys, because there's been a theme for each pile, and the theme for you guys is finding a sense of belonging. And also the thing for you guys is shedding, as well, with this Eight of Cups over here, which has been a pretty consistent theme for most of the piles today, is just this idea of shedding. I mean, that's exactly what Pluto represents. She definitely represents leaving things behind, transformation, release, transmutation, shifting. So yeah, for you guys, the theme for you with this new age of Aquarius is definitely starting over in some sense, because you guys are going to be walking into this next chapter kind of feeling like you don't belong any one place. You may also enter into this next chapter feeling as though you are in between one place or another. And that's almost taking on the presence or embodying the spirit of the High Priestess, because the High Priestess, she also rules the Two of Swords. She's the major arcana card too, so she rules all the minor arcana card twos, and we have the Two of Swords here. And Pluto is another energy in astrology where she is pretty much the High Priestess, but she expresses herself through crone energy. And so when we're dealing with the crone, we're dealing with a High Priestess, feminine, very powerful feminine energy that is more so in her dark expression, and not dark as in a way like evil or negative or bad, but more so in a way where we're dealing with the conscious settling or resting, or almost like going to sleep in a sense. So this is dealing with the unconscious, dealing with the subconscious. This is dealing with the shadow. This is dealing with things that we can't see. This is also dealing with a sense of destruction, or in other words, transformation and change, and permanent change, ego deaths, things like that. So for you guys, you are really, really learning how to become this High Priestess in your own life. So you guys are going to become your own sense of authority as well too. And you are also going to learn how to embrace the sense of wandering. This new age of Aquarius doesn't necessarily feel like, for my pile fours, you guys are meant to be stuck in one place. It almost feels like you guys are meant to be in a Two of Swords place where it's like, I could go left or right, because the universe has other plans for you guys, where it plans to change things up, where it's like one day you guys are devoted to this direction in your life, and then the next day you are connected to a whole new calling, or you are answering a brand new calling, or you are following a different direction of your life. So it feels like this new age of Aquarius for you guys, like I said, your theme is belonging, but where you belong is sort of like to yourself, with this Eight of Cups right here. So Nine of Cups, when we look at the Nine of Cups upright, at least in the RWS version, I'm actually going to bring up a picture of it on the screen. But when we look at that picture, he's sitting. He is seated and surrounded by these 9 cups. So it's another way of saying, like, I'm so fulfilled, I don't need to go anywhere else. I'm not, you guys know the saying, like, the grass is greener on the other side. He's not going to go looking anywhere else, because he's surrounded by everything that he wants. When you have everything that you want, you don't need to wander, right? So in reverse, this is sort of talking about you guys not getting into a comfortable space. So I don't know if you guys have been praying for that, setting intentions for that, trying to manifest a situation where you have the utmost freedom and you have the ability to one day you just decide to wake up and go to a different country just to go explore some other country. I don't know if you guys have set intentions for that, but that is exactly what is going to be happening in your new age of Aquarius. Your sense of belonging is going to be within yourself. For some people, they wouldn't be able to live like this, but for you guys, it's like you almost like want to be a nomad, or it's like you almost want to live out of a few suitcases and spend your time traveling and spend your time exploring and spend your time experimenting. It's like you don't want to put down roots just yet. And this may be why you guys can't make up your mind. And some of you, or a lot of you, have been sort of almost looking at that in a negative way. Like, why can't I find the place that is meant for me? Why can't I find a sense of belonging? Why can't I find a place and stick with it? Why do I keep moving? Why do I keep going? Why do I keep why is nowhere good enough for me to feel like I can settle here? Because you guys aren't necessarily meant to. You're meant to wander. And this wandering, again, it's going to lead you back to yourself in a place where you guys feel most comfortable and most at home within yourself. And this is why you guys can't necessarily connect to this Nine of Cups feeling just yet, but you're actually going to find that this Nine of Cups flips upright the more that you are connected to a sense of freedom. So again, I feel like a lot of you guys have been trying to manifest a sense of just being free to do whatever you want. And that's a lot of what your new age of Aquarius is going to look like. So honestly, I should say your theme is kind of like traveling. But I feel like you guys are going to find a home in very many places. Let's grab a clarifier for your Two of Swords really quickly. What is this Two of Swords about? We have Tower in reverse. Some of you guys are very worried about, why do I keep shuffling? Four of Cups in reverse is underneath the deck. So the Tower in reverse came out, and Four of Cups in reverse underneath the deck. So a lot of you guys are worried about, you may be worried about ruining something, and that may be why it's difficult for you to commit right now. You may feel like, I don't want to commit to this job or this career, this opportunity or this person or this relationship or what have you, or this mortgage or this apartment or this lease. I don't want to commit to something right now because I might change my mind. Four of Cups in reverse. I may just wake up one day and be like, nope, don't want it anymore. I'm out of here. You guys, a lot of you guys are worried about destroying something or ruining something because you change your mind. So some of you, you're very aware of the fact that maybe you change your mind very easily or very quickly, or maybe you've sort of evolved to that type of mindset lately where it's I don't want to be tied down, or I noticed that I change my mind a lot. Or maybe you guys have gotten to a place where you are super comfortable with change. That could be the theme for you too, is moving to a season of change. So yeah, it's like you guys are really worried about Two of Swords right here. I don't want to commit to anything, even though other things may want to commit to you, especially with this Four of Cups right here. This is like somebody offering you this cup. You guys can see this little hand sticking out of the sky. This is the actual Ace of Cups. So it's like you guys may be getting offers. Things and people may be wanting to commit to you, but you're kind of, I don't even want to call it afraid of commitment. It's just more so that your mind may change and you're fearful of ruining that with the Tower in reverse. You're fearful of maybe hurting other people, letting other people down, living with that guilt of oh my God, I let someone down because I couldn't stay there. Let's see, let's grab a clarifier for your Nine of Cups in reverse. Yeah, look at that. We got the Two of Cups and the Ten of Wands and then the Sun underneath the deck. Yeah, so the Two of Cups again. Two of Cups is the card of commitment. It's the card of marriage, bringing two forces together, unifying two forces. So yeah, for you guys, you don't want to commit. Again, you don't want to commit. That's not the theme for this new age of Aquarius. There's another theme for you. It's being non-committal, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I don't feel like being non-committal is a horrible thing. I think that gets a bad rep sometimes. I mean, I could see if it gets a bad rep if you've already made commitments and it's you got to try to honor those commitments to the best of your abilities. But even if you wake up and change your mind, I think it's important to honor that because you don't want to drag anyone or anything else along for the ride, and cause any sort of volatility in their life. But you guys, you're carrying this weight or this stress of like, okay, some of you guys are trying to commit to something and it's not working. It's not working. You're trying to commit to something. Maybe you're trying to commit to like a job or like buying a home or a relationship, and it just feels so heavy for you. It feels like this 10 of Wands right here is coming through as like a ball and chain. You guys are seeing this 2 of Cups is like a ball and chain. Like it's an anchor. It's weighing you down. It's keeping you stuck. This is very Sagittarian energy, and as well as too Aquarius energy. Aquarius energy loves to be free and independent. It needs freedom. It needs freedom. So, there's just something like heavy about that. And the sun here, this is what you guys want. What you want is like to be free, to just do what you want to do. Like when we're dealing with the sun card, as you guys can see, we have this baby on front, because what is the thing with babies and kids? Like they don't have obligations. They don't have any commitments because they're not meant to. They're meant to just live and become their own person. And eventually, if they feel it necessary to, commit to things as they get older and become adults. But you guys have this need for youth right now. Some of you may even wonder if you're going through like a midlife crisis. I wouldn't say you are. I would just say that it's like you can feel it in your spirit and in your energy. What's calling to you is a sense of freedom. You want to explore. You want to be free. You want to go where you want to go. Some of you guys, you are in a relationship, and it's not that you want to leave your relationship, but you guys want to have the ability to be like, hey babe, like let's go move here for the year, or let's go travel over there. Like you guys want this freedom for you and your partner. Some of you also want to help your partner maybe manifest their own dreams with the sun right here. Some of you guys, you want to bring a certain sense of like childlike joy to your partner as well, where maybe it's like your partner has always had a dream of like, I don't know, owning a farm. So it's like that's something that you want to give to your partner, and you guys end up giving that to your partner. You maybe have been working really, really hard with this 10 of Wands right here to make that dream a reality for your partner. But yeah, there's a sense of like of bringing something to fruition, to manifesting something, and definitely manifesting more freedom. Some of you guys, your partner works really, really hard. You see it all the time. Like you see it every day. They wake up, they go to work, they come back home, they're tired, and you guys really want to help them out of that job. You want to help them maybe retire, or you want to help them not work for a while, or maybe you want to help them start their own business or go back to school. You want to help them de-stress or take time off, or maybe you want to help them financially. That is something that you guys are going to be able to do. For those of you in a relationship in this pile, the new Age of Aquarius will help you also bring your partner's dreams to fruition, if that's very important for you. Because for some of you, you see your partner and they're unhappy. Maybe they're unhappy at their work. Maybe they're unhappy with life at the moment. And you know that what they need is more freedom with the sun card right here. They need less obligations, less responsibilities, less things on their plate. And that's something that you guys are working to bring them. Let's grab a clarifier here for the 8 of Cups. This is a couple of cards. I'm going to keep shuffling. We have the Ace of Wands. Yeah, it's just starting over, strength in reverse. You guys just like, you want to be able to go where you want to go, do what you want to do at the drop of a dime. The moment that you feel that spark or that interest with the Ace of Wands right here, the moment that you feel something calling for you or tugging at you, you want to be able to get up and go. You want to wake up, and if you wake up in the morning and go, I want to go to Paris to have a croissant, you want to be able to do it. Like, it's just an example, but it's like that's what you guys want to be able to do. And you don't want it to be like difficult. With the strength card in reverse, you don't want it to feel challenging. You want to be able to get up and do what you want to do. You don't want to feel like you have so many ties and so many attachments that you're feeling anchored down, because ties and attachments are starting to feel like an anchor to a lot of you guys. So again, you just want to be able to pick up and go. You just want to be able to pick up and go. Whether this is just you by yourself or you with your partner, Yeah, we got Three of Wands in reverse. Three of Wands upright is the card of optimism. It's the card of seeing possibilities all around you. And it was in reverse. I think it was underneath the Strength card in reverse. So yeah, this is just like right now, you guys don't see a lot of possibility. It's like you may feel like you're not surrounded by a lot of possibility. It's like you guys just want to make like a big move, or you want more freedom. You may want to leave your job. You may just want to sort of like, you may want to do like van life or something like that, or just, you just want to wander right now. That's what feels like it makes the most sense for a lot of you in this pile. Well, the new age of Aquarius is going to help you guys manifest that for sure. Let's start grabbing some oracle cards. See what we get, because I've spent way too much time on each of you guys' pile. I'm sorry. But let's see. Let's grab some clarifiers, or not clarifiers, but some astrological cards here to see what influences we have in your spread. So we have, I think this is fall. Let me check though. Let me check. I got to look in the little booklet. Okay, so we have here fall, and the word for this card is transition. Really interesting. This is talking about transition, kind of like what we were talking about with your tarot cards here. You guys are really wanting to transition into more freedom or having an easier life. And then this card over here is waxing quarter moon. And the word for this card, you guys are never going to believe it, but the word for this card is act, like action. So like we see with your Two of Swords here, they're not making any action. They're not taking action. They're stuck between two different places or two different decisions, or they're stuck at this crossroads, like we talked about with your Nine of Cups right here. And the Nine of Cups RWS version, they are seated because they are completely content with where they are at in their life right now. So in reverse, this is like, I'm not content. I don't want to settle here. Two of Swords is like, I am where I'm at right now because I'm stuck. So it's not necessarily like a choice. It's not where you want to be. So yeah, for you guys, we have transition and act. So the next action that's coming for you guys, or with this new age of Aquarius, is going to have you guys really acting when it comes to transitioning, when it comes to change. So you guys are going to be your own catalyst for change with the new age of Aquarius. So yeah, again, like I said, one of the 1,000 themes or words that came up for your new age of Aquarius would be change. So there's going to be a lot of change. And with the fall, we see that happen as well. During the fall season, we see the leaves, they start to change colors very beautifully, and then they start to fall off in preparation for winter. And so you guys are heading into a season of change and transition right now. And this is where you guys want to take the most action. You want to take action when it comes to changing and transforming your life. Not even transforming, but just transitioning. So you guys are sort of like in a season, you're moving into a season of transition. And this is why it's really difficult for you to settle, because you don't want to settle. You don't feel like it's necessary for you to settle. You feel like it's necessary for you to be able to up and go as you please, or pivot at the last moment, or whenever it feels right for you. You want to feel like transition is an option, and that is an option that is on the table at all times. So you don't really want to feel tied down. And that is exactly what this new age of Aquarius has in store for you guys. So the biggest astrological influences for you guys, let me see if we can get an astrology card. Okay, this is winter, but there's another card underneath it. Winter, and then that's another season. But let's see if we can get like an astrology influence. And we are currently in the fall season here, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. We're in the fall season. So, okay, so we have, look at that. We have the 5th house that came out for you guys. Okay. 5th house, underneath the deck, we have Capricorn, or underneath 5th house, we have Capricorn, but I believe 5th house wanted to be seen. And for those of you guys that know what 5th house is about, it's going to be hilarious to you, because it's basically going to confirm everything that we've been talking about in your reading. And then look at what's underneath the deck. We have Leo, and Leo rules who? The 5th house. 5th house is ruled by Leo. It's ruled by the sun. And 5th house is the house that deals with romance. It deals with flirtation. It deals with fun. It deals with youth, entertainment, talents, leisure time and leisure activities. It deals with, so basically the fifth house is where we fall in love with life. It's the house of creativity, fertility, children, youth, vitality. So this is basically like, you guys know how Sunday for most people is the day of rest. This is the day where we get ready for the week. This is the day where a lot of people spend time doing nothing because it's like we need to recharge our batteries for the upcoming week. Well, that is Sunday, which is ruled by the sun. Sun is associated with Leo and the fifth house. That is exactly what the fifth house embodies. It embodies this presence of, okay, I need to recharge my batteries here with some entertainment, with fun, with flirtation, with youth, with vitality, with doing things just for the hell of it, or doing things just for fun, doing things that's going to fill my cup. It's going to charge my batteries. It's going to empower me. These are things that I am passionate about, things that I love doing. So again, this is the house that rules falling in love, whether you're falling in love with another person or falling in love with life itself. And the way that we fall in love with life is by doing things that we like to do, or doing things that we love to do, doing things that we are passionate about. So the fifth house is where it's like, time flew by because we're just having fun. So again, this is a very, it's kind of, I guess you could say it's like a capricious house where you don't necessarily tie yourself down to the fifth house. It's just more so like, this is where we go to recharge our batteries and to have some fun. So it's like, I don't want to call it like fling energy, but it's definitely a place where we recharge our batteries, because we're about to head into the sixth house. And the sixth house, it's all about routine, work, schedules, maintenance, service, health, things like that. Like it gets real serious in the sixth house. So in the fifth house, we're letting our hair down, taking our time, savoring the moment, enjoying life before things get a little bit more serious. And that's exactly what we've been talking about with you guys' fifth house energy. And then we have here Leo, which rules the fifth house. Leo is all about personality, passion, ego, fun, shining, standing out, grabbing attention, conscious, how we project and radiate in the world. It's ruled by the sun. So again, this is about the things, people, places, and experiences that we pull into our orbit, the same exact way that our solar system revolves and orbits around the sun. That is what Leo and the fifth house rules. It rules the way that we draw things in, because it's attracted to us. It's attracted to our light. So you guys are definitely entering into a season of Aquarius where you feel really energized by, again, not being locked down. We have here abundance. It says your true nature, gratitude, commitment to goals. So with abundance here, you guys are also moving into your new age of Aquarius it'll have a lot of abundance in store for you guys. We also have like the snake here wrapping around her. It almost brings to mind like Kundalini energy. So like a Kundalini awakening. I don't know if that's something that you guys have been focusing on or have wanted to manifest in your life. But I feel like with you guys not being tied down, not being too committed to anything, this is going to help you tap into a sense of abundance. And that's what I was sort of touching on a little bit, is like, for you guys, freedom is wealth. That is being rich in spirit, is being able to wake up and do what you want to do. And that's what I feel like the abundance is coming in for you guys here. And then we also have here integrated woman, self-acceptance, integrate lessons, and grounded healing. So you guys are also tapping into feminine energy, or maybe you are integrating more feminine energy into your life. And when we are integrating more feminine energy into our life, that means that we are relying more on attracting and drawing in the things that we need versus going out and pursuing it or working for it or chasing it. That is more of the masculine energy. And there's nothing wrong with masculine energy. There's nothing wrong with feminine energy. It's all about what you want to tap into and what you are tapped into. So for you guys, you're integrating more feminine energy into your life in the sense where, like it says too, it's self-acceptance. This is you guys also too accepting your journey, accepting your path, accepting where you are at right now instead of trying to resist it with the Two of Swords. This is you guys really accepting where you're at right now and saying, I can't commit. This is not in my cards. And so this new age of Aquarius is really going to help you guys do that. It also says here, integrate lessons. So this is about you guys learning from committing to things or going against your true nature. Like it says here with integrated woman, it's about you guys, or with abundance, it says your true nature. Some of you guys, you've gone against your true nature, and if you were drawn to this pile, it may be in your true nature to not be committed or to not be tied down. That is not for everyone. Some of you guys, you may not be a monogamous type of person. There is nothing wrong with that. That is not for everyone. For some people, they just need to wander and explore and do what they want to do. It's worse to be in a position where, again, you're sort of, dragging people along and you're not sure that that's where you want to be. So for a lot of you guys, you're tapping into your true nature and accepting the fact that it's like, I am not in a space to commit right now, or this is just not for me, and really accepting that and kind of moving in that space. And that may sort of spill into other parts of your life when it comes to work, when it comes to romance, when it comes to even your appearance, when it comes to your different interests. That may be changing right now. We have here soulmate flipping over for you guys, soulmate, and then we have message underneath the deck. So with soulmate and message, I feel like did we get the Lovers for the Nine of Cups? No, we got the Two of Cups, I believe, for your Nine of Cups in reverse. And we talked about how some of you're trying to help your partner's dreams come true. So with soulmate, that could be confirming those messages, or it could be confirming the messages for those of you that do feel like you have a soulmate out there for you. And you guys know me. In my opinion, soulmates come in many different forms, not just in the form of people. I believe that even like a purpose in life could be your soulmate, or a certain profession can be a soulmate. And to me, a soulmate is just like a sense of belonging. I feel like I belong here. I feel like our paths are intertwined. I feel like we are compatible. I feel like we share a path for the moment or for a lifetime. That to me is the definition of a soulmate, no matter what form it comes in. So for you guys, this could be talking about something romantically, it could be talking about a lover, or it could be talking about a sense of belonging. Like I said, the theme for you guys is new age of Aquarius is belonging. So for you guys, this is all about tapping into your soulmate, tapping into where you are meant to be, whether this is a certain profession or a job or a relationship or a lifestyle, what have you. You guys will be finding and connecting to your soulmate. You may even have many different soulmates in many different forms that this new age of Aquarius is going to help connect you to. And with message right here, you guys also have like a lot of information is what I'm picking up with this message card right here, is that there's a lot of information that you guys are going to be receiving. And that could be what you guys are sort of dealing with right now with this Two of Swords right here. And that may be why you guys are sort of struggling with like, what am I supposed to do? Because it could be like a lot of information that you guys are tapping into or receiving right now in terms of where you are supposed to go, what you are supposed to do. And also too, because we have a moth on this message card, I feel like with this message card, it's also talking about you guys like sort of answering the calling whenever that calling comes in for you guys being able to get up and answer that call and go where you feel is necessary for you. So you guys are really going to be led by intuition and a sense of feeling or belonging or a pulling with this new age of Aquarius. Let's see what other life themes we get for you, pile 4. Also too, you guys could be manifesting a soulmate that is a free spirit just like you. Like I said, some of you, this is you and your soulmate or you and your partner wanting to live more or have more freedom in your life, where maybe you're not tied down to a home or a job or a place, an actual place. Okay, it's a chunk of cards that came out, so I'm going to keep shuffling. We have, you guys see what's underneath the deck? Sorry, I hit my mic. Do you guys see what's underneath the deck? It says indecision. And that is your Two of Swords card that we talked about. We talked about how Two of Swords is about, there's pros and cons to my left, pros and cons to my right. I cannot make a decision right now. It's the card of indecision. We literally said that. So yeah, underneath the deck, indecision. This is confirmation of your Two of Swords, where a lot of you are at right now. It says, I use my intuition in all aspects of life. And this is why you guys are in a place of indecision, so you can rely more on your intuition and less on your logic, or less on the different options that's available to you. So again, this is about being called, depending on your intuition, depending on your heart, depending on what you sense, depending on your sense of, depending on what it is that you are feeling energetically, and trusting in that. So yeah, this is going to be a huge theme for you guys. This new age of Aquarius is being in places where it feels indecisive and it feels difficult for you to make a decision, because you are not meant to necessarily settle down. If it's difficult for you to make a decision, it's because it's not necessarily meant for you to decide on that thing, pretty much, with this new age of Aquarius. And then we have here surrender. I can release my need to control. Your need to control could be coming in the form of feeling like you need to make a decision, or feeling pressured to make a decision. So a lot of you guys are going to be surrendering to your sense of indecision. You're going to be surrendering to the fact that you need to wander right now and not be tied down or committed to anything. This is you guys being releasing that need to control. Okay. So just more confirmation. And then a final message for you guys. Okay, we have here being ordinary. Underneath that was enlightening, Ra. And then we have Isis, faith and wisdom, underneath the deck. So I'm going to read Ra and Mut, being ordinary, out of the book for you. So Ra and lightning says, first sun god, he who rises up, climbing high in the sky, life and prosperity come from the sun and its heat. Its symbol is the eye of Ra, also associated with the meaning of the third eye. The energy of Ra is vital, the source of creative growth. Like it says, Ra is connected to the sun. Another thing that's connected to the sun is your fifth house card, Leo, which are both ruled by the sun. So it says the energy of Ra is vital, the source of creative growth. This deity instills clarity and transparency. There is nothing to fear under the influence of Ra. He helps you to heal wounds and restore lost harmony, but with action. Just like one of you guys' astrology cards, the word that was associated with it was act. And it says, above all, he advises you to abandon the subterfuges of the moon and to act boldly and in the full light of day. So you guys act boldly, okay? Don't doubt what you feel you're meant to do. And then we have her Mut, being ordinary. It says her name means mother. She is depicted as a woman. This sounds a lot like your integrated woman card. It says she is depicted as a woman wearing a golden headdress in the likeness of a vulture. Mut is the mother of all things and is associated with the primordial waters of the god Nun, from whom everything in the world was born. She symbolizes permanent creation. She establishes the conservation of things. Mut will offer you her necessary presence if you put your whole heart into working to give benefit and advantage to your home and your family. You will only facilitate the production and increase of wealth, especially material goods, by maintaining respectful and regular behavior on a daily basis through enthusiasm and dedication. And I'm also going to read Isis as well. That was underneath the deck for you guys, since we got this integrated woman card. But it says, sister and wife of Osiris, she is compared to the mother goddess. Her name means throne. In fact, she is represented with a headdress in the shape of a throne. She is revered as the ideal mother and wife. She is the protectress of sinners and the oppressed, and the goddess of motherhood, fertility, and great magic. As a conveyor of serenity and love, Isis invites you to reflect on the themes of faith, knowledge, fidelity, purity, and silence. Learn to work on keeping secrets and trust in faith. By keeping secrets, you learn to protect and to bear great responsibilities, such as the secret knowledge of the duality between the material universe and the spiritual universe, which sounds a lot like the High Priestess, like we were talking about with your Two of Swords here. A lot of you guys are going to be embracing or stepping into your High Priestess presence and really trusting and leaning on your intuition as you move into this new age of Aquarius. But you guys, pile 4, this is all that I'm seeing for you. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and amazing spirit for these messages. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.